broadcast this year. So I do need to say it to his face at least. And also, we've talked about it. Jackson and I talked a lot about your style of play, and we talked a lot about math this year, Jackson, didn't we? In a lot of the games.
Yeah, and see, I have a different perspective because I went to Central Arkansas Christian from about 2008 to 2011, and so I got to see Coach Kelly's PA teams, and I remember our guys prepping all summer for that first game, and before that they would be like, I feel like we've got a really good game plan. We know what they're going to do. Like, I feel like we're going to beat them this year, and then PA would just blow us out. It didn't matter how much we prepped, and so I've got a different perspective from his time currently.
The first-hand experience?
I've seen the absolute bulldozer that is Coach Kelly's offense and teams.
We'll talk to Coach Kelly.
He made a good point, too.
Yeah.
Can I say this? He made a point. He was like, because you were like, well, you just didn't have all the stud receivers and stuff. And he made a point. Well, I had frat boy receivers.
Oh, yeah.
But we can get them open and we can throw the ball accurately.
Garrett Lamb had an 80-yard touchdown against us, and he
had over 100 catches one year.
So also on the show today, Kyle Sutherland's coming up 2 o'clock. We'll do Arkansas's portal wish list. Also 3:05, Paul Catalina previewing the college football playoff. What's your 2026 sports resolution? 501-661-1037. D3 Auto Sales text line. Also, I'm at Josh Neighbors. You are at what, Jackson, on Twitter?
Jackson B713.
You can find him there, and then also the live fan feedback as well. Because the one thing about Coach is that Coach, obviously, you've won a ton of games, but your style, the big thing I've thought about a ton this year is at any point do you adjust? How do you just adjust your approach? Do you ever adjust your approach?
I would have adjusted my approach this year to kickoffs because to do my style, you have to be good in one of these things. Good at getting onside kicks or good at getting turnovers on defense.
So is recovering onside kicks, is it a skill? Because
there's an art to it.
Like
yes.
fumbles is crapshoot. Like
fumbles is a crapshoot.
Fumble luck is you might fumble 4 times and recover 3.
Yeah, there's some things you can do, but there's a lot of luck.
Is mathematically speaking, is onside kick recovery a lot like fumble recovery?
No. There's an art that can kick it consistently where you want them to on the ball. The ball does what you want it to.
Right.
And you could train your guys to know what's going to happen, how it's going to happen. And this was the lowest percentage of recovery I've ever gotten. And so the bad thing was I would have switched it, but we didn't have anybody that could kick it past the 20-yard line.
Right.
And so they were going to return it to the 40 anyway.
Can I tell you what my favorite onside kick is that you do?
Yeah.
Copter.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm a big copter guy.
If it's kicked well, really, really tough. And they started doing that in the NFL.
I saw one.
And I got mad because the Rams kicked the copter first against the Cowboys several years ago, and they called it whatever they called it, and I was pissed because that guy had gotten my film, the special teams guy. Yeah.
So he deemed it the copter, or did you?
No, he called it something else and said he's the first one to kick it. And
well,
buddy, you got it off me. I sent you my film.
Haven't we had like 10 different people claim the Wildcat? I think D-Max said it was who's a tight ends coach that he had in college. I forgot who it was because I know they said Gus had something to do with it.
I thought the Dolphins.
No,
did it
I
first.
thought it was the OC or the quarterback coach they brought in that had run the option.
That's what I'm saying. There's 4 or 5 different stories, and then Ronnie Brown.
Was it Lee?
I remember Ronnie Brown ran it.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Who was it? Who's his first name?
I'm trying to think of his last name.
But
first
also,
name.
So, Coach, the reason why was you were 2 things. Your games do take a long time because there's a lot of stoppages in play.
A lot of commercial breaks for you guys.
Well, we only get 1 a quarter. We actually So a lot of us filling the space, and also it's just like a lot of stoppages in clock. But how many times y'all give up 70 plus this year?
3 or 4.
Okay, during those games, at some point, are you like? Not reevaluate everything, but take a look at certain things.
See, here's again, when you're playing, if you think you've got a really good offense,
yes,
and statistically this year I think we were 3rd in the country,
right,
575 yards a game.
You want to give them as many bites at the apple as possible,
right? Yeah, we want but you've got to be able to play mine. You've got to be able to be good at onside kicks, or you've got to be able to get turnovers on defense,
right?
And we didn't get turnovers on defense like we needed to. And our onside kick team, it was the lowest percentage we've ever recovered. And again, I would have adjusted that. I don't know how much it would have helped, but we couldn't get the ball past the 20, so they were going to get it in the same spot anyway.
I also feel like your PA team's got a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, and we couldn't get pressure on the quarterback this year.
Yeah,
and you have to now more than ever.
That's why we're talking about like the personnel, like because the idea that if your team is good, you usually have good players, right? So like giving your we have good offensive players, so I'm going to give them more opportunities to score, and a higher possession game, we like our chances to outscore you. But like if your players are not. If your players are not definitely better than the other team's players, like
I've been there before.
But
at
is it going to flip directions?
Where we didn't have better players.
But, okay, I'm saying like wouldn't this year be the flip side of like isn't basically because you're playing a high possession style, the other team is what has been what you've been in the past. Like they're putting up the points that you used to put up because their personnel might be better.
You're looking at it from not even a full analytical point of view. You're looking at it from a partial analytical point of view. Okay, and there's that part. And then, there's the cultural part where that was my second year. Those seniors have had 3 different coaches.
Right.
I don't even know if they were 100%. Not all of them were certainly not bought into what we were doing.
I'm not trying to dog your players.
No. What I'm saying is that comes down to I've got to do a better job culturally of getting them to buy into what we're doing. Now, the good thing is this next year, those seniors have just had me in high school.
Okay.
And they're going to be all bought in,
right?
And we're going to be a lot better this year.
Also, does it help out too in high school that like teams don't kick a lot of field goals, like because you have a lot of
more teams are kicking field goals.
Okay, but not at like the rate like.
Not certainly not the rate college
in
or
college,
NFL. They're kicking them because if you're getting 50-yarders, you're in.
Because I think that in a college and pro setting, like if you're essentially even if your defense plays well, you're kind of handing the other team free points.
Yeah.
If you're having the possessions that end deep in your own territory or or around midfield.
Yeah, certainly that factors in. If all of a sudden, in the NFL, I think they made 77% of all kicks over 50 yards. Think about that.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, it's
like velocity in baseball.
But
everybody's throwing
it's evolved to that, right? Yeah. But certainly, if they were kicking 50-yarders at a 77% rate, I'd have to rethink some things.
Yeah.
But it's not. That's not happening.
Right. And that's kind of, I think it's one advantage to it. Well, you have anything you want to ask?
No, I mean,
top of your head.
Yeah, my thing. I have a completely different perspective than you, just because I've seen it for longer.
Right, and I never saw it in person. I never saw it. Up close before this. But also,
did we win the game that you had?
No, you did not. But so it was funny because Lakeside last year, was that game close at all?
It was for 3 quarters.
That was
3.5 quarters.
2 years ago. I'm sorry, 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah. Right before halftime, I say that 2 minutes before halftime, it was a 12-point game, and we had the ball in their 16-yard line.
So, because this year it was a 6-point game, I think, in the third quarter. And I think you got beat by more than you did the previous year. Now that
we did.
Once again, margins are not always, in your games are not always an indicator of how the game went.
Right.
Yeah, it's not.
Ours for certain because so many more possessions. But look, you're right. 6-point game with 2 minutes left in the third, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then they broke a long run.
Right.
Made it we go down, throw a pick, and they scored again quickly. And all of a sudden you look, and what was a 6-point game is now a 20-point game.
Right.
And it happened in a minute and a half.
Right.
So does that make it look bad? Yeah, it makes it look terrible.
Well,
but that game was 100% an anomaly. We had the ball 8 times inside the 30 that we did not score a point. But it never happens to me.
So on defense, do you think there's no chance you can be as bad as you were this year, next year?
We won't be as bad as we were this year.
Because the thing is, like the numbers are being put up against you. My thought was like these teams are just scoring at will, and like it's everybody. It was everybody playing for a stretch.
Yeah, but here's the. I mean, and it is what it is. We are where we are.
Yeah.
And Catholic can tell you. Everybody knows Catholic. Catholic's a very good defensive team.
Yeah.
Okay? Traditionally, they're good defensive. They've always been good defensive. We're in a speed conference. We're in with Mary, and to show you our side of the conference against the West. After week 1 of the playoffs, 5 of our 6 teams were still in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty strong kid. We're on the speed side with Marion and Jonesboro and West Memphis. Benton is always Benton. And El Dorado is always El Dorado. They're always sending linemen to the Hogs, tons of speed. And we are not a speed team. I mean, it is a total mismatch in that area. And for Catholic. And Catholic has done a good job, but this year our conference was really good across the board. And Catholic had some problems not like we did, but they had some problems on defense too. And that's the telltale sign to me, because I go and I look at Catholic and I go, if Catholic had trouble with somebody on defense, then they were really good on offense, because Catholic's always really good on defense.
I do have a question for Coach Kelly, because I know you're a Belichick guy, probably keep up with North Carolina. What do you think about Petrino to North Carolina?
I love it.
How do you think that Belichick and Petrino are going to work
It's going to be perfect.
It's the least
because
fun football team to play
No,
for.
it's going to be perfect because Bill wants people that know detail of their job.
Right.
And Petrino is – I've spent a lot of time with him. I got to pick him up when he first took the head job at Arkansas. I got to go pick him up at the airport when he flew into Little Rock. And so I got to spend a lot of time with him, get to know him, got to spend some
Uber
time
driver?
with him.
You driving Uber? What are you doing?
No, he just wanted somebody to come pick him up and show him around town.
Nice.
And that kind of stuff. So I
Yeah.
got to know him a little. Spent the whole day with the guy,
Nice.
got to know him, and developed a little relationship. But he is as detailed as anybody I've ever seen on the offensive side of the football. And Bill is as detailed as anybody I've ever seen on the defensive side of the football. And I've spent a lot of time with NFL guys.
Yeah.
And I think it's the perfect marriage. I think Bill wanted because he knows they've got to play better on defense, and he doesn't want to have to worry about the offense at all. And I think Bobby Petrino gives him the opportunity not to do that. I do not have to worry about that side of the ball.
Are you a bit worried about, and this is like the non-football part of it, like those are two guys who are not known as the most. I'm not saying I don't think you have to be cuddly with players anymore. I think Kurt Signetti's a pretty good example of not having to be cuddly and still be successful. But are you a little bit worried about being able to attract talent? Because look, like you can pay more than somebody else and get a kid, sure. But if we're all, if you're fighting with the teams that are in your weight class for recruits, are you worried about maybe some kids being turned off by that attitude? I mean, because like they are not the most cuddly Kenny Dillingham pro player type guys.
Yeah, but I don't think so, because if you ask any college coach, they say don't even recruit anymore. The recruit I've only found, of all the coaches I know, they can only tell me one kid that went to a school that didn't offer him more money.
Right.
It has nothing to do
I
with personalities of the coaches or anything
right.
like that.
And
Now
also,
it's money.
I mean, like also, if you're a kid, you might overlook personality to go play for Petrino, because I mean he's got a pretty good track record with quarterbacks.
But the flip side is now you've got a guy that's got a good track record with quarterbacks, and if you play for Belichick and he tells the NFL this guy's an NFL player, they're going to draft him.
Yeah.
So you've got that. That's their sell to me.
Yeah. You got any update on the Bills' personal life, his relationship? Is it going okay? You guys talk about that at all?
No, I've not.
Would you ever consider going to the booth with us once you're done coaching for like doing what Coach Withrow does for the?
Yeah, I got to do several years ago. I did some of the state championship games.
Nice.
And I enjoyed the heck out of it. And I've done some PAs. PAs got their PA live, and I've done those. I prefer not the play-by-play. I prefer the color.
Yeah,
describing the plays. But as a coach, as a coach and watching film and stuff, it's easier for us to pick out. God, did you see the guard and the tackle pull? That was a counter trade.
That's Coach Withrow all day.
Yeah, Coach loves running the ball. I guess the one challenge is, for coaches who do color on the radio, you have to still be a radio person and be if you're going to break something down, you don't have a telestrator, right? You've got
to say something like, hey, if you saw there were two guys lined up deep, and the safety on the right, when the post came, did you see him trip out of his break towards the ball?
Right. And
they're like, oh, that's why he was so wide open.
As I always say, paint the picture. You know what I mean?
Because people will go, well, blown coverage. No, it wasn't a blown coverage. The guy opened his hips to the left. When he turned to the right, he tripped. He didn't blow the coverage. He fell down.
So I do. So get you a couple football questions here. Which quarterback? Okay, I'm gonna go both conferences. NFC. Which quarterback you trust the most right now?
A quarterback or quarterback in their offense? There's a difference.
All right. How about this? I'll get to this. I'll do a totally just scenario. You gotta go 80 yards, 2 timeouts, 2 minutes. You need a touchdown to win the game.
Not Sam Darnold. Let's throw him out.
Yeah,
he's my least favorite.
I was going to say Sam Darnold's.
He's my least favorite.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts' offense is not. He's my favorite one because he can run. I think he can throw. But their offense sucks for what they're asking him to do.
It's either 2 targets for A.J. Brown or 20.
San Francisco's, if you give me 4 minutes, I take Frisco and Brock Purdy's offense because they can still run and play action.
Purdy's been great.
He's been phenomenal. But put him in a 2-minute, he's not as good because so much of what they do in the pass game is predicated off play action. And if there's no threat to run the ball, then that hurts their passing game.
Right. They're the best set up to run play action in the NFL, though, with McCaffrey, I feel like.
No question. And people understand play action pass is the most efficient play in any football game.
Right.
In theory, they ran simulations, and you should never do anything but play action pass. They're like, well, would the linebackers quit paying attention if you quit doing it? No, the answer is no, because every team they see, they have to do drills where on the snap of the ball, they're taking 2 downhill steps towards the line of scrimmage to stop the run.
Right.
And out of habit, they continue to do that even if you don't do it.
Yeah, it's just it's one of those habits. Caleb Williams.
I'm not ready to trust him yet. You
Yeah.
see him, remember against, was it Green Bay?
Yes.
And I don't mean this last time. I mean the time before last, and I think it was Green Bay, where he had the guy wide open in the end zone for the win. He waited too long to throw it.
Yeah,
slow.
Yeah.
He leaves the pocket when he doesn't have to. Phenomenal talent, but in the NFL, that always kills you.
That is Lincoln Riley's fault. Like,
it is.
He
didn't make him stay
from
in
the day that he stepped onto the field against Texas.
Yeah.
In that 28-3 game that he rallied them from, Lincoln didn't because the thing about Ben Johnson is. We all love the talent, but he needs him to be more Jared Goff than Superman. He needs needs like I always love Jared Goff because Jared Goff does not mind 2nd and 10. He is hey, I'm not going to try and make a play.
Right.
Not going to try and do anything extra. Just throw it away. We'll live to see 2nd and 10. And Caleb, that's not just him. I mean, Mahomes does this.
No, but Mahomes plays within structure until he has to not. Caleb Williams needs to study.
I would say
he needs to study Mahomes and be him.
But his last 2 years, I feel like Mahomes has made some real that.
He's had to. Their line sucks.
Yeah,
well,
that
their
Denver
line
game
sucks,
though.
and I mean, he at least had some receivers this year.
Yeah, that Denver game, that interception against Denver was really bad. It's terrible. Yeah. But it happens even for Josh Allen. I mean, Josh Allen just short-armed it. I mean, just the one this week.
What happens? Jared Goff threw 5 picks.
Yeah,
the other day.
Matt Stafford threw 3 and missed 2 open guys in the final drive to win the game. Yeah,
golly.
It happens, but
it does.
But I think especially the Arkansas is a good comp for this. Is that Talon does a few things where you're like you just don't see it.
Yeah.
Physically, but the problem is I need you to take the cape off sometimes. I need you to be just normal in this play. It's hard to do when you're always trying to score like Arkansas did, but that's the thing for Caleb is that's why some of that was so impressive is that it felt like he was within himself, but also got to display
when he is. But people miss, when you watch Sports Center, this was funny. Year before last, Patrick Mahomes threw 7 interceptions on sidearm throws, But SportsCenter doesn't show the sidearm interception throws.
They
throw the sidearm.
No-look sidearm.
They throw that. And everybody's like, "Oh my gosh!" Well, what people see is when you do that consistently, you're going to make as many bad plays as good. Listen, if you go into a game and you throw 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, you're not going to win that game.
Right?
They're not equal. You need a 3-to-1 ratio. But sidearm throws are about a 1-to-1 ratio of touchdowns to interceptions.
Really?
Yeah. So if you could eliminate
in traffic, they're typically in traffic. Is that why?
Some of it is they think they're trying to throw it below a defensive end's arm out and that kind of stuff. But in reality, 90%, it's like golf. I don't know if you play golf.
Right.
When they say when you're kind of hitting through a tree, 90% of it's air.
Yeah.
I tell my guys, we're not throwing sidearm. Just throw it. If he bats it down, he bats it down.
I think the thing about Caleb the other night that was frustrating me was people were like, I guess Wes said it too, and not to bang on Wes, but the idea that people's opinions changed about him. Yeah. That's always his dad's goal for Caleb Williams' dad's goal was he's gonna be the number 1 pick. He was the Heisman Trophy winner, and he accomplished that because he is that talented. But he spent the last 2.5 years of his entire college career running around and playing schoolyard football.
Yeah.
And Ben Johnson obviously inherited him, but he's like, we have to refine that. We got to get that. We want to use that when we need it, but we cannot have that as the default. And I think people have to understand this is a process. You're seeing all these quarterbacks peak later on. I hadn't thought about Geno Smith in years. And I know he's not good now, but at least he's a lot better than he was.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold. There's 5 quarterbacks in NFL history who have back-to-back 13-win seasons. He is one of them. He's
in everybody's defense, they added a game 3 years ago.
Well, yeah, but
they gave him one extra one to play. Could have been a 12-win season.
But still, Sam Darnold, the idea being here that he's peaking now. He is. It took him a long time.
He is playing his best ball now. But there's hidden things about Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
That people don't talk, and that is this. If he has less than 2.5 seconds to throw, he's one of the worst quarterbacks.
Yeah, but aren't most quarterbacks bad when they're pressured? There's a few guys who are exceptions. But
but he creates his own pressure because he holds the ball the second longest of anybody in the league.
Really?
Yeah.
Second longest?
Second longest.
But still, the performance, the results the last 2 years have been, I'm not saying you could just replace him with anybody else.
He's had really good defenses.
Very good defenses.
No, he's done a decent job.
Yeah.
He's not a top-tier NFL quarterback.
No, but
13 wins, he's done what he's needed to do.
There's a lot of bad quarterbacks in the league. Like there's a lot.
bad for the NFL.
Yeah, it's like I always say it's like there's a lot of there's bad for NFL, but there's just not a ton of great quarterbacks. That's why everybody gets frustrated when Dak Prescott got the big contract. Well, every time a top 8 guy becomes like a free agent, guess what? Like Kirk Cousins became the highest paid player one year.
You have to have a quarterback in the NFL.
That's why these guys get
or you're
paid
not
so
going to
much.
win.
That's why these guys get paid so much.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's like if you
You've
know
got to pay him.
If you know you have a guy who's around top 10, like you gotta pay him because it's. I mean, you're guaranteeing at least a certain level of competence.
They need to do like the NBA though and cap it.
Well, they did.
Cap the individual players. Look,
do you remember
you've
the
been in
rookie
the league
scale?
this long. You can pay them the max, but they're all getting the same max.
When they did the rookie scale, like remember, like they were giving these massive contracts.
Yeah.
Like I remember Sam Bradford's was huge. Matt Stafford's was
Yeah.
huge. So back to it though. All right. So which quarterback you trust the most in the NFC? I think it's still Stafford for me.
Stafford for sure.
Um,
At the ripe old age of 30, is he
I
39?
Whatever medication he's taken, because I was a little weary after the surgery, but modern medicine.
His biggest blessing is that he's got legs enough to move, but not enough where he loses discipline and wants to use them too much.
Yeah.
Because he'll stand in the pocket and throw, but he can bootleg and he can escape and he can do some things.
But the problem for them is they're going to play on the road. They're going to be on the road for.
That West is loaded,
And they just had a bad 2 weeks. They just had a bad. Everything had to go wrong for them to lose that Rams game, the Seattle game.
Think about the Philadelphia game. They lost at Philly.
It was
the game.
Up 19,
they're tied.
They were up 19.
Yeah,
at one
but
point.
then they're tied, and they're kicking the winning field goal, and it gets blocked and run back for a touchdown.
Was that in Philly this year?
Yep.
They've had 2 nightmares in a year in Philly, and it could end up being 3. Oh my God.
What's sad is if you could make a case that 4 out of the 6 conferences, the best team in the conference is not the 1 seed. I mean, it's not the conference winner.
The divisions?
Yeah,
or
the divisions. Yeah, the division, not conference.
Let's see. I'm trying to think here.
Carolina, you could make a case if they win, or Tampa.
I mean,
there's
it's
one.
just I think any
the
of those
West,
teams playing.
the West for sure. I think the Rams are probably the best team.
Yeah,
so you can definitely make a case the winner's not going to be
like they should have won that Seattle game. I mean, the guy picks up the ball in the 2-point conversion.
That was so stupid.
Like it's
what
ridiculous.
a dumb way to change your season.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. They're on the road instead of home.
They had to convert 3 2-point conversions to get it done. Like
right.
That's
statistically. At one point, they had a 92% chance to win.
We had the state title game that was the 2-point the 2-point title is what I called it. Which game was that?
It was one that I was not.
Was
on,
it Cross County or EPC?
I think it was Fordyce and.
Oh, it was Fordyce and whoever they played. 10 total 2-point conversions attempted. Fordyce 0 for 5. Was it? I forget who the other team was.
I wasn't there.
They were 5 for 5.
We won a game. We beat in the state championship game. We beat West Helena in 2008.
10-point margin, by the way. So the 10-point margin. One team went 5 for 5, 10 points. The team
get this one in 2008. We played West Helena. We scored 4 touchdowns and made all 4 2-point conversions for 32 points and kicked a field goal to make it 35. They scored 5 touchdowns. And we beat them 35-32.
Right. It's like that's always the fun part.
They scored more touchdowns, but we made all of our twos.
The fun part is like, how did you? It's like you'll see a game. Sometimes it's like, it is 13-12, and it's like they had 2 safeties and a touchdown, and that's how they got 2-point conversion. That's how they got there. AFC. Who do you trust the most?
The Broncos' defense is so good,
but the quarterback though.
But I love Bo Nix. But I don't trust Bo Nix.
I don't trust Bo Nix.
I think the best quarterback in the NFL. I don't think it's a hot take, but I think Joe Burrow is the best.
Joe Burrow's the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah,
his team is not good.
I
trust Josh Allen.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy is that
he just has no number 1 or maybe number 2 receiver.
You think about all of these guys in the AFC, like the ability. Like I think Stroud still. I mean, he's got a ton of ability. Herbert, ton of ability. Burrow, Lamar. Allen, Mahomes, like, how many of those guys are going to end up getting a Super Bowl when it's all said and done? They're going to have to. Like,
I hope Josh Allen does, but now I think it's
all of those guys I listed have Hall of Fame potential.
Yeah, for sure.
They have good enough skills to be Hall of Famers, and I mean, how
can we add Drake May yet, or is it early?
It's early.
I think it's going to end up being that, but I think
he's so good.
He's so good.
He's good. But
he's good. Oh, how about that draft? Has there ever been a draft for the 3 quarterbacks for that?
2020 was good. You had Herbert, Burrow.
Who's the other one?
Hurts.
Yeah, I think Hurts is he's a big situation. he's a big benefit.
He's a Super Bowl winner.
And he works his tail off. He
He works
like,
out, but
apparently
can
he's
we
the
give
hardest
him?
working dude.
He's on his 8th coordinator at 8 years.
That
That's
is true.
tough.
That is very, very true.
That is. People don't understand how tough that is.
I will say that the one thing I like about Jalen Hurts is that he is, for his level of ability, he has squeezed every possible ounce of success out of himself.
I think so.
I mean, he is. That's why I think that's why Saban went out of his way, when he was transferring to make sure he ended up in a good situation.
What I like about him is when Lane Hatcher, who I coached, was down at Alabama.
What a quarterback room he was in.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts, Matt Jones, Tua, and him.
Yeah.
But I just remember him calling me and going, "This Jalen Hurts guy works harder than you may have ever seen."
Yeah.
Like and no quarterbacks get the chance to say that.
Well, they had like videos of him as a true freshman squatting like 500 pounds, like all this ridiculous stuff in the weight room.
Well, they said when he was in high school, they're like every record possible, and that's the thing about him too is that he's taking a bit more risks recently, but like the teammates love that dude. Except for AJ Brown, but AJ
Brown doesn't love anybody.
But receivers, receivers. You know how receivers are. A little bit
prima
of divas.
donnas.
I would say, but Drake May's gonna be good.
Drake May's gonna be really good.
He's gonna be very good.
He is.
Also, the Titans will be looking for a coach this year. And Mike Vrabel's gonna be. It's just if you're the Titans, you screwed that up badly.
You screwed it up.
He never
bad.
had a quarterback.
No, that was their whole problem.
Yeah,
was his defense was always so good. They're always so sound fundamentally.
He had Tannehill, who was not
You know
good,
what's
but
funny?
he made him look
Will
better
Levis.
than he was.
You know what
and then they draft Will Levis.
Dude, I was always like, what was your favorite Will Levis college game? Because I can't think of one. And people were like, guys, big arm. Like the big arm white dudes always get drafted high. And it's like, this is
you have to be able to throw it to your guy.
Yeah. Like so, Coach, the one thing that always confused me was the Mitch Trubisky draft, where it's like, okay, the closest thing we have in college to NFL defense is Alabama. And I've watched Deshaun Watson twice have a lot of offensive success and a lot of success elsewhere. But like, I know he can do it. But Mitch Trubisky's arm. Can throw it.
Same thing with
what are we
thing with
doing?
like a Blake Bortles.
It's just
here's what everybody's missing too.
What are we doing?
Because to me, Mitch Trubisky and Drake May are the same person, except for here.
Yeah, but that's but Deshaun's Deshaun's a winner, man.
But look
now
at
he's
what the
not.
Bears have done to everybody. Trubisky, Justin Field.
It's like the Jets. Yeah,
they've ruined everybody. And I think it matters where you go. All these guys we're talking about that were missed guys, might have been a lot. Could have been really superstars somewhere else except for Will Levis.
Yeah, I know. At no point was I like, this is going to work.
And the thing about
it's like Felipe Franks. I was like, yeah, you know what? And people keep doing. Auburn did that with who's the kid they had? Peyton Thorne.
Yes.
When they brought him in, I'm like, do you know what Hugh Freeze at all? Do you know? What were we doing there? Like, we all knew Peyton Thorne was pretty average, and then he brought him in, and he brought him back.
Okay, and in tennis, if you're coaching tennis, you go, whoever beats whoever, that's my one, right?
Yes.
Wrestling, whoever wrestles. In football, it's so subjective, especially at quarterback. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Yes.
And sometimes coaches just see something in a guy, and they're like, that's going to be my guy. But it never manifests out where everybody else can see it.
Yeah.
And they're just stuck on it,
Yes, like we all.
It might be like, well, this is a terrible example. Well, a woman that has a man that mistreats her, but she sticks with him.
Yeah, no, that's true.
That's not a terrible analogy because she
not.
sees something in him, or she's afraid to lose him because what might we get?
Yeah.
I thought at first I'm like, okay, I think he's pretty average, but you know what? Like, I'll give Hugh Freeze the benefit of the doubt. Then I'm like, oh, he's still just Peyton Thorne. You couldn't bring him back for a second year. It's like, okay, what are we doing? Like, we know this doesn't work, but like you said, guys just can't. They just cannot help themselves.
Yeah, I can't speak a lot to it because I've got a little inside information there. As I know some guys that work in there.
Yeah,
but the bad thing was part of the people inside that organization knew it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, well,
then your head coach is still sold on it.
If Josh
is
like,
tough.
that doesn't look good, I don't think it's going to be good. I think some other people will be able to see that too.
Well, I know, but we've also been wrong on some people from the outside.
Yeah, but isn't quarterback evaluation like the hardest thing? Like,
but yeah, it's like by far and away the most difficult thing to do.
It's like a crapshoot.
That's why they give Kyler Murray $260 million. He won't watch.
Well, also I think it's part of the impatience deal too. And he's a different case, but like I think people are far too impatient. Especially now.
Well, and they're thrusting them to the wolves before they're ready too. Now more than ever, they're having to play when they're drafted.
I mean, you have to be impatient because as a coach, if you get it wrong, you don't have time for this guy to develop over. You're going to get fired.
You're going to get fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. That is a big reason why.
So many factors.
But people need to be, I think with football especially, like, hey, there's not a ton of games. We got to be more patient. Because I'm going to keep using Penn State as an example. You had a level of success that you only had under Joe Paterno. He had 6 10-plus win seasons in a 9-year stretch. That last time it's happened, they won 2 championships. And they had a bad 3-week stretch. And they fired their coach. And guess what they're doing now? I like Matt Campbell, but best case scenario, he builds what James Franklin built at Penn State.
Yeah, he has to start over, kind of.
Right. And so it's like, and that's great. But sometimes you got to be happy where you're at.
Well,
you know?
I would think a lot of people would say that James Franklin. I'm not even a big James Franklin fan, but firing him was a big mistake.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake.
That set him back 3 years.
All right, Coach, thanks for hanging out with us.
I appreciate it. It was fine.
Yeah, appreciate you doing that.
I love that y'all talk some NFL.
Yeah.
Because
we
I love
to.
talking NFL.
Yeah, it's great. It's all related. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
NFL takes a lot of their ideas from stuff, people
They
like
do.
you do.
The high school up is now the thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's got used to be NFL down. Now it's high school up.
Yeah, a lot of ingenuity, a lot of new stuff coming there. All right, Jackson and I will come back. We'll break down. We'll get some good audio from Coach Saban about, he's got some fixes that won't work but I appreciate him putting out some fixes all the same. All right, Out of Bounds. We'll be right back.
Happy New Year, guys.
Are you still on the sidelines? Then it's time you suit up and get in the game. Download Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app, Bet Saracen, today.
This is SportsCenter.
It was a trio of bowl results on Tuesday. Louisiana Tech rallies from behind to beat Coastal Carolina 23-14 in the Independence Bowl. Then Brett Bielema and Illinois get win number 9 of the year. It was a walk-off 30-28 victory over Tennessee. The Vols finish 8-5, but don't beat a single team with a winning record in 2025. And then to end the day, it was a thriller as Sonny Dykes and TCU take down number 16 USC 30-27 with a walk-off touchdown in overtime. The Trojans finished with a 9-win season. The second 12-team college football playoff kicks off tonight as Miami meets Ohio State at 6:30. You can catch the game on ESPN. You can also catch it right here on 103.7 The Buzz. I'm Josh Neighbors for the Buzz Radio Network.
Stick around after each Razorback basketball game for the Bet Saracen Basketball Postgame Show with Wes Moore and Josh Neighbors. Bet Saracen is the leader in sports betting in Arkansas. Make sure you have your Bet Saracen app downloaded to your mobile device. Get the best sports betting app in Arkansas and start winning today.
Mickey Hennard for our service department at Hennard Foothills Equipment in Searcy. Whether it's Kubota, Vermeer, or steel, our team will take care of you. Family owned for over 30 years, Hennard Foothills Equipment in Searcy, your hometown Kubota dealer, no matter where you live.
Holiday savings just landed at Guatney Chevrolet, and these deals are big. Get up to 22% off in-stock 2025 Silverado 1500s. Huge savings on the truck everyone wants. Buy a new Equinox and get a $250 Christmas gift card. A perfect holiday bonus while supplies last. And on all pre-owned vehicles, get 1 full year of free maintenance, plus available sales tax paid for even more savings. Don't wait. Drive home your holiday deal today at Guatney Chevrolet in Jacksonville. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. With approved credit. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Want to make 2026 your year of adventure? Book that trip and learn a new language with Babbel. Go ahead. Make a resolution you can stick to. Now is the time. Babbel's New Year sale is here. Unlock all of the languages on Babbel with the lifetime subscription for 65% off. Just go to Babbel.com and start today. Babbel teaches you relevant words and phrases, so you can start speaking with confidence in as little as 3 weeks. And because Babbel's bite-sized lessons fit easily into your daily routine and are easy to remember, you'll be talking like a local in time for takeoff. Dive into the world of language learning content with Babbel's videos, podcasts, and stories from around the world, full of culture bites and language learning tips. Turn your daydream into a destination this year with Babbel. But don't wait. This offer ends January 15th. Get Babbel's lifetime access for less at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
In today's digital world, compliance isn't just a box to check, it's a necessity. Network Services Group will help you navigate the complex landscape of cybersecurity regulations, making sure your business stays compliant and secure. Stay ahead of the curve. Focus on what really matters, growing your business. Network Services Group, your partner in compliance for banks and medical organizations.
Network Services Group. One call does it all.
Serious injuries happen every day.
If it happens to you, don't wait. Dial 8.
Dial 8 for Rainwater, Holton, Sexton.
888-8888.
Anywhere in the state, dial 8.
We've got you covered, Arkansas.
Responsible attorneys Michael Rainwater and Bob Sexton.
We got the big deals at the Big Rock. The Big Rock Benton.
It's the Wrap Up the Year sales event at the Big Lot, Chris Crane Dodge Jeep Ram in Benton. Get new Jeep Wranglers up to $14,000 off. And the midsize truck of the year, the new Jeep Gladiator, starting at just $39,900. These are the biggest deals of the year on Jeeps. Don't miss the Wrap Up the Year sales event at the Big Lot, Chris Crane Dodge Jeep Ram in Benton, or chriscranecars.com.
The Big Lock Benton.
Back here on Out of Bounds, Josh Neighbors and Jackson Braswell. I hope Wes and Joe are enjoying their time off. Right now, we'll be taking you up to the to Drive Time Sports. But it's the last Out of Bounds of the year. Once again, the boys will be back on Friday. 501-661-1037 is where you guys can reach us. We'll get to the D3 Auto Sales text line here. There's a couple of texts that actually were for Wes. Let's see. Somebody says, why does your signal suck in Russellville? I don't know. I can't speak to the way that the lines are working. Yes, Jeff says D-Max said Danny Nutt came up with a Wildcat.
I thought it was David Lee.
No, he played forward for the Knicks.
David, yeah. Former quarterback coach.
Let's see. Somebody says, Silverville gets fired. Can we please give Coach Kelly a chance? LOL. No, I think it's... look, the one thing about like when you're a college coach, too, is that you have to manage a lot right now with... they pay him a lot of money. But, like, you're just having to manage, like, so many different variables. Like, when you think about the NFL, like, the NFL is a building, right? Like, think about a coaching search. In the NFL, if it's not coming from somebody in the building, then, like, do you believe it, right?
Yeah.
In college, it's like there are boosters, and there are administrators, and then there's the coach's agent, and there is the athletic director. Like, there are all these different, different things happening all at once with those guys, with like the number of people that are involved. And so information's kind of all over the place.
I would love to see Coach Kelly in like an analyst role, like an offensive analyst role.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd ever do that at this point in his career, but there are ways that he schemes people open that have no business being open.
Yeah.
That I think would be beneficial to any program.
Oh yeah, they'd probably love having him. That's why people like Belichick have picked his brain. Let's see. Somebody says Sam Darnold is 14th on the list in terms of how fast he gets the ball out. So I'd have to go look at that stat to check on that. And somebody else, let's see. Somebody said the Tennessee game was changed from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. for timing purposes. Have you heard anything about the game being changed? I have not heard that. I don't think they would alter that at this juncture in time. And that's a good way to talk about one thing, Jackson, that we know is going to happen. We have got the Arkansas basketball postgame show that is coming up on Saturday. Arkansas basketball postgame show coming up on Saturday, live from Walk-Ons. I want to thank Bet Saracen for sponsoring that as well. The game is... it's at 2 p.m. Yeah, it's at 2 p.m. It's right here on the 103.7 The Buzz. You can watch it on ESPN2. Come watch with us at Walk-Ons. Wes and I will be set up outside at the table so you guys can come join us and listen to the show. We have always a very, very fun time whenever we do the post-game shows there. And Arkansas, finishes at 10-3, and then they'll be on that SEC slate. Jackson, did you see? You obviously probably saw Coach Cal's comments the other day, didn't you?
I did, and then I saw him on ESPN yesterday, kind of reiterating some of those same points. And I mean, I'm biased. Obviously, I'm an Arkansas fan. I like Coach Cal. I thought his points were very valid. I mean, the state of the game, it's in such a weird, unclear place. You're recruiting guys from the NBA. I mean, that obviously feels like it shouldn't happen, but you also can't blame college coaches for trying to do it, because if it's potentially legal, then why wouldn't you?
Well, I mean, it's funny. I saw Matt Painter the other day. He said that we just want to know what the rules are so we can play within them. And what he actually meant was we want to know what the rules are so we can figure out how far we can push the boundaries. Like, that's what you should be doing, honestly. You should be pushing boundaries to see, if your job is to win. Now, I'm not saying, you have to be, like morally dubious or anything like that, but see the ways, I don't blame Scott Drew at all for trying this. If it's allowed, then why not,
Yeah, I mean, it's in a weird place, but it makes sense. If you can transfer once, and then you have to sit out. This whole idea of transferring 4 times, I mean, ultimately,
it's not legal. You can't legally tell somebody they can't transfer.
I know, but at some point, you think of college basketball, going to college, getting a degree. He makes a good point. Say you make $3-4 million over a college career, and then you're not set up to go get a job afterwards. You're not an NBA player, so I mean, it doesn't make sense. There needs to be some change.
We'll talk more about it when we come back. We went long that first segment, so we'll step aside. Josh Neighbors, Jackson Braswell. It's Out of Bounds here on New Year's Eve.
Hey folks, this is Mitch Ward, proudly serving the great state of Arkansas with Red River Auto Group for over 20 years. We started as Arkansas's #1 Ram Dodge Chrysler Jeep dealer, but we've also got Ford and Toyota. And I like to think we've got the largest discounts than anybody in the state. But folks, really, if you bring us any reasonable deal right now, we're going to try to put something together. If that means us giving a little too much for your trade or selling ours or just a little too cheap or fighting for the best rate, we're going to make it happen. Check us out at redriverauto.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Southland Casino Hotel presents a Harlem Gatsby New Year's Eve. Velvet and Vice meets Flappers, Feathers, Fortune, and live entertainment all night long. Wednesday, December 31st from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. 25 winners will share $16,000 free play or cruise into 2026 in a BMW X3. Then, January 1st through 3rd, the $1 Million New Year Roar. 75 hourly winners share $75,000 free play. And at 10 p.m., 15 winners will be selected to receive free play for a year. Only at Southland.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help, quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Check out the new clothing at Bell & Sword in Conway. A new cricket polo with Razorback logo, button-downs, vests, sweaters, slacks with UCA or Arkansas gear from Johnny O and Peter Millar. Great staff, fantastic service. Bell & Sword, the only Central Arkansas men's store with a tailor on staff to fit you. So go now to Bell & Sword, 1011 Oak Street in Conway on Facebook and Instagram.
Unstoppable, unmistakable, Defender is built for those who carve their own path. At Land Rover Little Rock, experience the legendary capability, rugged design, and modern technology that make Defender a true icon. Whether it's city streets or untamed terrain, Defender delivers strength with style. This is more than a drive, it's a mission. Visit Land Rover Little Rock off I-430 and test drive the Defender today. Learn more at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families presents Central Arkansas Soup Sunday, March 1st at 3:30 at the Jack Stevens Center at UA Little Rock. Arkansas Advocates works for an Arkansas where every child and family has every opportunity for success. Central Arkansas Soup Sunday benefiting Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families, March 1st at 3:30. Tickets are available at aradvocates.org and at the door.
God, it's aggressive, isn't it? Let's go. Josh Neighbors, Jackson Braswell filled in for Wes Moore and Joe Franklin. This is Out of Bounds. Glad to have you with us here. 501-661-1037. That's the D3 Auto Sales text line. You can find us there. Also, we're on Twitter. I'm at Josh Neighbors. He's at Jade something else.
Jackson B713.
There you go. That's where you can find Jackson Braswell on the Twitter machine. Oh, it's X now, as they say. Also, live fan feedback, and you can give us a call, 501-661-1037. Open phone lines. We'll talk to Kyle Sutherland at 205 about the wish list or potential wish list for the Arkansas Razorbacks in the transfer portal that opens up on Friday. Now, weird part about that is some of the appeals, like a Trinidad Chambliss, they have not been even looked at by the NCAA because they are on break right now. The reason why they're on break, Jackson? We're the college kids. They're on break, right? They're on break right now. That's one of the many weird things now is that, it's basically run like a professional sport. But we also, Diego Pavia, drop it in the bucket, brother. There we go. It's really like a pro sport, but also at the same time, they still adhere to an academic calendar, which is weird. We're going to play some comments from Nick Saban. We'll actually do that at the start of, let's do the start of next hour so we can give it some more time. Actually, we have Kyle then. So I'm going to play this now, and we'll do it now. We can circle back to it later. But Nick Saban was on the Pat McAfee show discussing some ideas about what to do with the state of college sports.
He had who's that quarterback that was at Utah for 7 years? Cam
Rising.
Cam Rising.
Still got a year.
He was there for a long time. I think he was fighting for another year. Yeah.
He got another year?
Maybe 2. You don't know.
Come on.
We don't know.
This is ridiculous.
Does anybody know?
Let's get there. I already had the clip the first time around.
When are you going to figure it all out, Coach?
Sure.
Huh? When are you going to do it?
Just CDL.
I got it figured out. Nobody will listen. So, what are you going to do? I mean, we got to have, some kind of antitrust exemption. You got to get the political parties together on it. I think the college people have to get over the fact that, a graduate student can be a graduate assistant, get paid, is not an employee. So players don't have to be employees. And these graduate students have representation. You call it a union if you want, but it's restricted on what they can negotiate for. They can't say, I have a lab that takes 10 hours and I'm going to go on strike, so we only have to go 6 hours. You can't do that. And you do the same thing in football. Put some restrictions and determine what you can and can't negotiate. Shouldn't be anything that has anything to do with athletic development. We already have those restrictions, 20 hours a week, whatever it is, that practice time. So there's a way to do this that satisfies both parties, that gives cover to both groups so that we can move forward. And, I got killed in the Wall Street Journal for saying things like college football's messed up. But the thing about it is everybody just looks at the playoffs have created tremendous interest in college football. There's a whole bunch of teams now that have a chance to get in the playoffs. There's more interest than ever, higher TV ratings and all that. But the underbelly underneath that is not really good. It's not really good for the development of players. It's not really good for all the sports that we try to sponsor in college. And I think we got to decide, do we want to be, a professional developmental league, or are we really going to have college athletes who go get an education and develop value for their future as they're playing and making money. I want them to make money. I think they should make money, but there should be some restrictions on how they go about doing it. And the movement is as big an issue, to me, a bigger issue than even the money.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep saying this, and I'll keep saying this until people understand this. You can get upset all you want to, but college football is the second most popular American sport by television viewership. Okay, it is more than the NBA, it is more than the NHL, it's more than MLB, all of those. NFL is number one. All right. The money that is involved, look at the coaching salaries. Look at the television contract size. Every single year, every single Big Ten school gets an $80 million check distributed to them from the school's conferences for revenue for their television contract with CBS, NBC, and I believe Fox. All right? So the people in charge have been running this like a business. And now the players have started to be like, why don't we get the piece of the business? Because if the ADs and the presidents and the TV execs are kind of like the ownership in this situation, they've been getting theirs. They have been look at the Brian Kelly's contract. Good Lord, they've been getting theirs. College kids have not, and they're just starting now to get paid for their play, the revenue sharing, but they're not actually paid what they are worth, right? If you look, the split, these rules and regulations that coaches are calling for, other sports leagues have these. They are collectively bargained by a union. The number of games that are played in the NFL, the revenue split, how much of the money it's taken in goes to players, goes to the owners, contract lengths, max contracts, right? The franchise tag is a thing that is debated. You don't want to sign a guy long term, fine, but the players should be entitled to something. What's the average of the top 5 salaries at that position? That's what he'll make for 1 year. It's give and take in everything. And so that is the only way that we begin to solve some of these issues, is if we are going to do this. Because right now, individual players like Diego Pavia are suing, and if they win, they're setting precedent. That doesn't happen in other sports. It doesn't happen in the NFL. We'll step aside. We'll come back. Razorback update. And also, Kyle Sutherland talking some Hogs.
Listen for Champs and Chumps on Fridays during The Zone. Brought to you by Washita Bar and Grill on Central Avenue in Hot Springs and BKC Home Builders, building premier homes in Hot Springs.
Superstars Joe Klein and Pat Bradley for Arkansas's #1 sports app, Bet Saracen.
Joe, you know the main difference between Bet Saracen and those other guys?
Definitely. Easier to navigate. Always good parlays. Plus lots of fun choices. Like ping pong. Right there on the app.
But the real difference are those special promos.
Brand new players get a 100% profit boost just for downloading the Bet Saracen app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-GAMBLER.
For over 30 years, Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse has been Arkansas's truck accessory headquarters and the only stop for all your truck parts and accessories. If it goes on a truck, Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse has got it. And that includes upgrading your truck with Vortex spray liners. Tough, durable, proudly made in the USA. Their spray liners can protect your truck for years to come. Call Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse at 501-568-0040 to schedule your spray. Or stop by 65th and University.
How'd you get sick?
I loved a woman who wasn't clean.
Mrs. Santa?
No, it was her sister.
Happy holidays from 103.7 The Buzz, KABC FM, Little Rock.
State health officials are sounding the alarm after Arkansas sees its highest number of whooping cough cases in 15 years. The Arkansas Department of Health says over 500 cases have been reported so far in 2025. At least 50 people were hospitalized and at least one person is dead. Now, officials say most cases were reported in school-aged children and teens. They're urging people to get vaccinated to help stop the spread. And police and fire departments in Jacksonville are addressing the state's blood shortage. They are partnering with Our Blood Institute for a blood drive next Thursday. This is happening from 9 to 1 at the FEMA Safe Room on Marshall Road. All donors will get a Give Hope t-shirt, a ticket to the Museum of Discovery, and a free cake from Nothing Bundt Cakes. You will also be entered to win $5,000 to start the new year. Appointments can be scheduled through a link on Jacksonville Police's Facebook page. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm Kara Case, Jessica Rockwell.
Centennial Bank presents Dan Hampton each week on Morning Mayhem. Centennial Bank. Strength is no accident. You work hard for your money. Keep it secure at Centennial Bank. Member FDIC.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center.
Wednesday's highs reached the upper 50s to low 60s with lots of sunshine and calm westerly winds. And then for New Year's Eve, temperatures drop into the low 40s by the time the ball drops, and then will eventually reach the mid 30s into New Year's Day in the morning. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm Arkansas Storm Team meteorologist Jenna Warner.
Are you hungry? Something new, $25, all you can eat, sushi rolls, soup, salad, Benihana rice. Come at Benihana's Monday through Thursday.
Hi, this is Joe Klein with Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. Whether you're dining in for daily specials like Cheese Dip Happy Hour, driving through for a barbecue bulk pickup order, or prefer our full-service catering, our professional staff at Corky's has you covered. Corky's in Little Rock and North Little Rock. We'll see you soon. And be sure to listen each week when I stop by 1037 The Buzz.
Holiday savings just landed at Guatney Chevrolet, and these deals are big. Get up to 22% off in-stock 2025 Silverado 1500s. Huge savings on the truck everyone wants. Buy a new Equinox and get a $250 Christmas gift card, a perfect holiday bonus while supplies last. And on all pre-owned vehicles, get 1 full year of free maintenance, plus available sales tax paid for even more savings. Don't wait. Drive home your holiday deal today at Guatney Chevrolet in Jacksonville. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
With approved credit, restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
When there's work to do, ground to break, and a reputation to uphold, you need the powerful, durable Kubota RTVX, North America's #1 selling diesel utility vehicle. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 1.99% APR for up to 36 months, or save up to $300. Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit your local River Valley Tractor dealer or online at rivervalleytractor.com.
Lost in the legal jungle? Relax. You have a lion on your side. There's no one better to protect your pride than our pride of Legal Lions. For exceptional communication and exceptional results, hire Lion Legal to come roaring to the rescue. Lion Legal. We bite back.
This is Chris Roberts with Southern Bank. You and your business are doing big things in our community. Our financial tools are just what businesses need to succeed, but finding funds for your business can be tricky. At Southern Bank, we make it easy for local businesses to get financing for the things that help with their success. With a variety of loan and deposit products, your business can be prepared with a financial plan tailored for your business needs. To start your relationship with Southern Bank, visit us at southernbank.com or stop by one of our convenient branches. Member FDIC.
And ESPN Radio Extra Point with Rich Eisen.
I'll be honest with you. Watching Bijan Robinson on Monday Night Football, I thought to myself, I'm finally seeing Barry Sanders 2.0. I know what I'm saying here.
But with more power.
What I'm saying about Barry, okay, is I've never seen more entertaining 3-yard gains in between the tackles.
Right.
Where dead to rights, you're dead to right. He's dead to rights. And then he'll make a move in traffic, in trash, in between tackles. And every single time when he finally is taken down, that's where the power comes in. He always falls forward. You never knock him backwards. He's the king of keeping you on schedule.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Live from the Signal Media Studios, this is Out of Bounds with Wes Moore and Joe Franklin on 103.7 The Buzz.
Well, we'll take care of some quick admin here. Josh Neighbors, Jackson Braswell, hour number 2 of Out of Bounds, the last Out of Bounds of 2025 as 2026 begins tomorrow. Wes and Joe will be back on Friday, Jackson, which is nice that those fellas, the boys are back in town.
Yeah.
That'll be nice to have those lads back here on their own show because Joe has been on a sabbatical. 501-661-1037, that's the way you can reach us. Also, the D3 Auto Sales text line is what it's called, and also the live fan feedback, and also on Twitter. We are on X, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Like the video there, leave the comments as well, and subscribe to our channel, please. We appreciate when you guys do that. All right, so we're going to bring Kyle Sutherland on, and this is your Razor Hog update. We're just going to do it live because we got some news, Kyle. Grayson Wilson, the former quarterback from CAC, and from Conway, who was one of the on the QB depth chart, I believe was QB number 3 this year, is going to enter the transfer portal. That's news we just got. What have you heard about this? What, is this something that you've been hearing a while? I know we've bandied it about, but what is the latest on this situation?
Well, of course, that's crucial because it takes it down to just one scholarship quarterback in the room, being KJ Jackson, who is already, was one of the first ones to announce that he was coming back. But yeah, Josh, right now, I would say, and I mentioned this to Wes probably about a week or two ago, like I don't really think that anything has surprised me as of right now. Grayson, they had a lot of hope for. Obviously, he was the first commit to the 2025 class. He stayed very loyal throughout the Dan Enos fiasco and just everything that's happened in between. So, certainly wish him the best, but I'm not entirely surprised that happened. Like I said, really with all of them that have entered so far, you've had a couple of more on top of him that have announced intentions, or at least that has been reported today that they intend to enter. But all the ones that we've seen so far, I believe we're now up to 13. Not really any of those that shocked me too much.
So, obviously he came from the offense that a lot of folks have called veer and shoot, right? Alex Golish's offense. Did they have a different offense at Conway, I assume? Because, obviously at CAC was a bit of a different offense, a lot of points.
So a lot of it was pretty similar when he was there. Now, of course, when he went to Conway, Ryan Howard, who was his head coach at CAC, was his quarterback coach, and Mark Kelly, who just won National Coach of the Year, was the OC at Conway. So there was a lot of similarities there. But, I mean, like you said, especially when they were at CAC, I was told by his dad, they used to watch. I was told by his dad and Ryan Howard both that they used to watch Alex Golish. So, that's something I don't know. As far as, will there be some interest at Auburn, another SEC school? I don't know anything about that as of now. But, yes, to answer the question, he does have a lot of familiarity with that particular offense.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that's obviously not being talked about, well, it's being talked about, but we can't really say it, and this probably puts people like Kyle in a tough spot, is that there's news that's being, talked about, for where guys are considering going. The problem is we have this shroud, this kind of fake, idea that's, hey, we're going to see some decisions as soon as the portal opens. But, it's like, hey, the portal opened and I had clairvoyance under which coaching staff I wanted to go play for. But, these things are usually in the works for a while. Kyle, I'm going to ask you a question in a certain way. Which quarterbacks would you like to see Arkansas go after? If you catch my meaning there.
Now you're asking if Arkansas just had to sign any quarterback that's out there, regardless of price or just in general.
I'm asking you, using your knowledge of the game and of the program and the current state of affairs, what quarterback would you like to see them go after?
To be honest with you, Josh, that's a position that I have not really. I've been more so looking at the trenches than I had. Really in the last week, that's kind of like the offensive and defensive line is what I've focused in on. But as far as I don't really have an exact name or school of like the quarterback that I would want, but I would say more so than anything, certainly one that knows how to run the read option. We know that Tim Clancy's going to want to do that. That's what they've talked about with Ryan Silverfield, and they talked about how they want a lot of speed. So I think you need somebody, obviously. You're going to need pretty much a true to me. Maybe not so much like a 4-5, 4-6 type quarterback, but one that can move like K.J. Jackson can do. So really more than anything, I mean, certainly has to be one that immediately understands the offense. I know that's what they're going to be looking for because Ryan Silverfield talked about how they plan to win immediately. So I think really more than anything, just somebody that, again, can run that offense. They don't have to do a ton of teaching when they come in, but also the simple fact of one that's going to take care of the football. That's first and foremost.
Yeah, I think one thing I'm curious about is what happens for teams that are spending that extra money. Like for Arizona State this year. I mean, they were a program like that loses a Sam Leavitt. It usually curtains for him, but Jeff Sims. I'm not a Jeff Sims guy, but actually played well. There is a market because those guys who are not maybe veterans, but maybe not excellent, can get paid a pretty penny to go be a backup somewhere, right? If the option is you can go and play at Northern Arizona, or go and play at FCS level, or go and play at like Marshall, or you can go and sit for Kenny Dillingham, on the bench. And then if they need you, you can come in. I think there is a market that if there is a team that's willing to spend a little bit extra to have some security, that's not like the Ohio States who's recruiting guys that give you that security. There's some options there, but Kyle, if you're going to go get a veteran, quote unquote, it's probably going to cost you a little bit, right? Besides, as opposed to a guy like a Grayson Wilson.
Yeah, there's no question about that. I mean, the guys, that have proven what they can do on the field. I mean, the market is going to be higher for them. But I'll tell you one thing to watch too, and something that I noticed whenever Tim Clancy had his introductory interview with was on the Razorback Daily podcast right after he had gotten announced. He had talked about it, and I know that all coaches are thinking this, but I don't know how many I've actually heard say it. He makes sure that whether it's a team meeting, whether it's pregame warm-up, that he tries to keep all of the third-string quarterback as involved as the first-string quarterback, because he always wants it to be in their mind that they are going to come in, that they could possibly come in at any time. So you might see them, and I'm just saying hypothetically here, you might see them get a quarterback that might not have incredible stats, may not come from an incredibly winning program, but fits exactly maybe as a player what they are looking for, and that wouldn't shock me at all. But yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, it's guys that have the film on the field, have the production, and prove that are going to command the most money, and that's certainly how it's going to be.
Hey, this is Jackson. I do have a question. So we talked to Coach Kelly in the break about if you had the keys to the NIL truck, where would you focus?
Where would you drive it?
Yeah, where would you drive it? What position area would you put your biggest focus on to make sure that Arkansas was a winner in year one under Silver?
I want to preface this too with what sense are you getting about their budget? Like, and I mean their budget relative to their competition. Like, what is the actual money situation to the best of your knowledge?
Well, man, right now, all I can confirm is that it's better. I know that that's not really very clear. I do know that it is better, but I certainly know that it is not where it is supposed to be. Now, are they still at the very bottom of the SEC? This is just me just guesstimating, having some conversations, but I would say maybe more so kind of at the maybe closer to the top of the bottom half, if that makes it, maybe a little bit closer to the top, as opposed to being like 15th or 16th, maybe more so like 11th or 12th type of deal. But to answer your question, Jackson, first and foremost, without question, I'm paying attention to the kind of like what I was saying a second ago. I've been really digging into the offensive and defensive line. But look at Georgia. What is Georgia? They constantly have these massive defensive linemen that they can rotate. They've got multiple that they can bring in and rotate out, and obviously the offensive line too. And that's what you hear coaches say all the time. That's exactly where it starts. And the thing about it is you can get a lot of really fast guys who also might have really good hands for receivers. You can also get a lot of really good running backs. I mean, look at the NFL. Look how many undrafted free agents or late-round picks who have succeeded. But there's not a bunch of just massive –
large humans,
defensive linemen.
There's not a lot of big humans out there.
Well, not just a lot of big humans, massive ones that can move, that are extremely athletic. So that's where I'm putting my money first. I'm focusing really from the inside out.
You know, you see a whole lot of that. Like the tackle market is, I mean, it's like if anybody who's good, at maybe even the FCS level, or we saw the Oklahoma State kid who's hitting the portal. Like those kids get gobbled up fast because it's just hard to find good tackles. Like the big programs have good guys, but you saw, Ohio State tackle goes, he's playing for Kansas City, right? You see Kelvin Banks, Texas, gone, boom. They're playing the NFL. There's just so few guys like that. And to be honest, Kyle, like with the limited resources Arkansas had last year, I think they actually spent their money in the right place. Like they'd built a team that made them competitive in games, but the problem was they just didn't have enough money to get good defensive players. They had to take too many swings on defense. They did not get any known quantities, it felt like, on the defensive side. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the offense, definitely. I mean, you look at Mike Washington, that's something the coaches talked about multiple times during the fall camp. During fall camp practices, it's just about how this is going to be a guy that's really good. I mean, they told us that every day in every press conference scene. Then you think about Rohan Jones, who he didn't get the ball as much as he should have. But it's and then obviously you've got Caden Hitler coming back at center. That's a massive returnee that you're going to have coming back. But talking about the offensive line, one to watch is Carius Kearney. He, according to the On3 transfer portal, he of course just announced his intention to leave Ole Miss. There is still a chance that he could go back to Ole Miss, but I was told by a source, and I reported this earlier, that Arkansas and Georgia are the two schools to really watch right now. That's who it's come down to. And that's a top
Arkansas and
15
Georgia
players.
Yikes.
Yeah, Arkansas and Georgia. Arkansas and see here's the thing with that, Josh. Even if they don't get there, which right now I feel pretty decent if they can, Arkansas, of course. But the fact of the matter is that this came from a source I trust anybody else when it comes to Carius. And I will say the fact that they are competing with Georgia for him, as opposed to no disrespect to the smaller schools, but it's not extremely encouraging for beating out like a T5 school for an offensive lineman. But when you're going toe to toe with Georgia, that tells me that they are willing to fit.
Well,
this is a top 15 overall player in the portal, number 1 rated offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna once again, last year's roster. Like Robinson was a known quantity, so I mean they had from a school. Brent Key's done a great job with that offensive line for the most part. That cost them, and if you're gonna have limited funds, and you're gonna have to build teams like the Saints did, right? You're gonna have a good left tackle, good wide receiver, good quarterback, one good pass rusher, right? And then you have to basically hit the rest of the way, and that's how Arkansas is gonna have to build if they're gonna be a lower money team. I think Missouri's done a good job. Like Missouri's the other example of, all right, you're up there, so you're spreading the money out, and you're good, you're decent. Ole Miss is the example of like Texas Tech and Ole Miss. They are the pay to have good teams, right? If we're talking about the non-elite class, the schools that have to, try and do it a different way than the other schools do, where like they use money to get good recruits, they use money to get guys out of the portal to finish off their rosters. If you're everybody else, there's multiple ways to do it, and if you're going to have less money, the trenches are the place to do it. And think about it, Kyle, on defensive line too. If you got a good pass rush, that actually might cover up some of your bad secondary players, right? Yeah. So you can kind of almost cover for a missed talent evaluation if you have a good pass rush.
And the other thing is that you don't necessarily have to have known quantities. I mean, look at Indiana. They brought a lot of guys from the FCS level. They got a lot of unknown quantities.
Jared Verse went from Albany to Florida State.
Yeah, and now they're known. So there's something to be said about having an eye for maybe some of that lower level talent that doesn't have those eye-popping numbers that you talked about at the quarterback position, that any position that pans out. Arkansas just had no one pan out on defense except for guys that were returning maybe.
Yeah, and John was well before you came to Arkansas, but you go back to 2014, and you had Trey Flowers at defensive end, Darius Philon at defensive tackle, obviously Martrell Spate back there at linebacker. They call it the Bermuda Triangle. And when you have those kind of guys that can create all kinds of havoc in the pass rush that they were able to, ask Tevin Mitchell and Rohan Gaines, those guys who were in the defensive backfield at that time, that made their life a lot easier. And you think about Arkansas with Quincy Rhodes, that is not just one of the best defensive linemen in the SEC, one of the best players returning in the SEC. You pair him with a game wrecker at defensive tackle, or even somebody on the other side, and then also bring in a quality linebacker. You're working in, and then I think that like Wyatt Simmons, I think he's going to be pretty solid for him. He did some good things at the end of the season, but you bring in a game changer or just somebody who can really play linebacker like you need to in the SEC. Just one or two of those guys who can take the game to a different level could do wonders for that defense.
Yeah, because I mean, Sorey had the ability, but he was just he's out of position all the time. Like those plays that get schemed up to make it one-on-one situations between their running back, your linebacker. He typically wasn't even there to be the one, and for Arkansas's one-on-one. And I think you're right about Wyatt Simmons. He kind of reminds me almost of Nick Bolton, like really good at flying to the football, not going to be in the backfield making a ton of tackles all the time, but good technique around the football. And Kyle, the thing is, with Rhodes coming back and he's able to stay healthy, I mean, you're right. Like they only need, to create some problems. They really only need another guy. It's hard with one pass rusher, but we're seeing it in Texas Tech this year, right? If you have two, like their entire line's good, but Height and Bailey, I mean, you are in good shape if you've got two guys. It does a world of good for you, and also will help them maybe force some more turnovers because they did not force enough this year.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think, too, with Wyatt Simmons, I mean, obviously we all know by now what kind of football background he comes from. His dad is one of the greatest coaches, regardless of division in the entire country. His little brother's a great football player. And I think, too, just with his athletic ability and his smarts, he reminds me a little bit. Jackson, you might remember, I'm not sure how old you are, but you might remember a guy named Caleb Miller that played linebacker about 20 years ago for Arkansas. Reminds me a little bit of him in terms of he might not be as far as just the most overall crazy athletic, but insane smart and just knows where he has to be at all times. Reminds me a little bit of Caleb. Caleb, to me, is one of the most underrated Razorbacks in the history of the program.
No, I definitely see that comp. And the thing about Wyatt Simmons, I mean, you look at I watched his high school tape when he came out. His sideline to sideline speed is actually very good for a linebacker. He's more athletic than I think people give him credit for. He could be a factor in the pass rush as he gains more confidence and more knowledge of the defense. He's got all the ability there. He just needs to be refined a little bit. But definitely remember Caleb Miller. He was a standout.
Yeah, Kyle. Yeah. One more thing. I'm not sure if our coach is talking about this. I've been thinking about this a lot recently and said it on some of the shows about the idea of the constant evaluation of talent. Like in the NFL, if you scout talent really well, you're able to keep those guys 4 or 5 years, right? Like you get Trent McDuffie at corner, and he's going to play for you for 5 years at least. You don't have to you can evaluate a talent well. The problem is the guy's only going to play for you for 1 or 2 years sometimes, right? And then and then you have to go and replace that constantly. So it's impossible to have a high hit rate all the time for a lot of these schools, especially.
It is. I mean, and that's even down to the high school level.
Yeah.
I've had so many conversations just with, I've been really since Coach Silverfield got hired, I've been on the phone talking to some state coaches just about how, if their kids have heard from him, all these different things. And I get into that conversation about, hey, it's that time of year where you're basically, I don't really use the word recruit when it comes to high school, but it kind of is what it is indirectly, I guess. But yeah, I mean, you've got to keep tabs on your current kids that you have even in high school now, because I mean, by gosh, if it's a kid from a small town, and I'm not going to single out any here, but I'm just saying if there's a kid from a 2 or 3A school and then the 4 or 5A nearby, if there's one nearby you there, probably going to get flushed. I mean, that's just kind of how it's working right now. So I've seen it just too many times. So, yeah, you're definitely having to. I mean, I don't know if this was necessarily the basis of the question, but as far as just like evaluating talent and everything, you're having to evaluate talent, but also re-recruit your guys even at the high school level.
Well, it's like, I think we're going to get less and less of the stories like player X's only offer was here. Because the thing is that, a lot of these guys, like I think Deuce Williams is a really good example, a little undersized, but pedigree-wise, like performance and pedigree, his dad's a finalist for being a Hall of Famer. And also he's obviously very good. So he's got the, he's got the football smarts and has the tape to prove it. Well, for Arkansas, like what you can do is you can just circle back to him, right, at Stephen F. Austin. Like if it goes like most of us think it's going to go, guess what? You can come back to that kid after a year, after he's physically grown some more, and, it's going to be tough for other schools to make the argument, well, where was Arkansas in the beginning? Because guess what? Everybody was late to you. That there was a lack of interest across the board for you. And so I do think that part probably makes a little bit of the talent evaluation a bit easier when, hey, the way things are now, you can actually just circle back to a kid eventually. And I'm sure there's tons of kids that go to lower levels from the state that they see circled.
Well, yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, we see it in multiple sports. I mean, you look at the women's basketball with Izzy Higginbotham last. She came from Arkansas State, Arkansas. I even saw recently. I don't know how much you guys keep up with volleyball, but I saw recently a UCA player is going to spend got the South or the ASUN conference tournament player, MVP, and is now going to play at Arkansas. So you're seeing that in multiple sports to where, and like whether it's Arkansas or another state where they might go to a smaller school and they'll end up coming back to the flagship once they get some film out there and prove themselves.
Kyle, who's today? I hate saying gun to your head, but who's your national champion? Who do you think is going to win the college football playoff? Because it feels like it's a bit more up in the air than it has been in the last few years.
But you broke out on me. Did you ask me who I think will win the college football playoff?
Yeah. Who do you think is going to win? Because also, this is a nice thing, Kyle, is the talent is obviously much more spread out. And as much as we lament the state of the game, the actual result of NIL is a lot more teams have an opportunity to win this year. So it's kind of working. It's making the sport more.
Oh, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. You can't argue. It's definitely now. Do I? And you and I have talked about this many times. Do I like the landscape? Not necessarily, but as far as parity, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, yeah. So I will say, man, I love Sig. I love Signetti. I'm gonna go with the number one seed here, just because I don't know that I necessarily believe it in my heart that they're going to do it, but I just love what he's done. I love the fact that I always root for the underdog. So I'm going to stick with the Hoosiers on this one.
On that point, on Signetti, like it's crazy because last year they were awesome last year, but they were not as good of a team as talent-wise as Notre Dame and Ohio State. Lost both those games semi-convincingly. Ohio State very convincingly, and Notre Dame paced them. This year, they seemingly have overcome that. I mean, they pushed Oregon around, and then against Ohio State, I mean they were right there with Ohio State physically in that game, and their skill guys, turns out the ones that end up making the big plays, and out Ohio State's. I mean, I know people are like, if Indiana's doing it, but Kyle, I don't know if you can recreate what Signetti's done there. Like, it is extraordinary, especially talking about the physics. It's not just the winning, it's the way that they're winning.
Oh, yeah. Well, and even look at the Penn State, which I know people were like, they're finally getting exposed against a bad
Penn State game, right.
I understand Penn State went through a whole lot of stuff, but this was a top 3 team at the beginning of the season. Like, this wasn't a not talented team they were playing.
Yes.
But so get that close game, and that was also about as equally as impressive what they've done so many other things, because it showed that when they were challenged with their back up against the wall, that they could still pull that out. People forget that, sometimes we get too focused on how what are the margins, how bad are you beating teams, and you don't think about how, especially look at James Franklin. We talked about how many times about his record against top 10 opponents. It's all about finishing, whether it's against a non-ranked team or a ranked. So that's what I've really impressed with them. They're just a really fun team to watch. I've really enjoyed it. And it's been really fun too. Just a side note, when Mendoza's little brother comes in, and obviously everybody thinks they're trying to add stats. I found that very comical this year. Whenever his little brother thinks it's still him.
Yeah, it's great. And he's interesting. I think he's gonna be a very good NFL quarterback. Kyle, all right. Have a safe and happy New Year's, man. You're the best. You are. I mean, it's awesome to see what you're doing, and I always learn a lot whenever I talk to you. So appreciate you being a part of this and jumping on, and you're doing awesome work. So keep it up. And I know
I appreciate
your crazy season's about to happen, brother. Hold on for dear life on Friday, man.
For sure. Well, guys, hey, I appreciate it. Y'all have a happy New Year. Always enjoy it.
All right. That's Kyle Sutherland, who works for a variety of outlets. But one of our old partners, actually, Jackson, you were the new Kyle, because Kyle was our color guy with RJ and myself. All right, Out of Bounds, Josh Neighbors, Jackson Braswell will be back, and we'll talk more about some of the things Kyle said, and we'll circle back to what Nick Saban said.
What's on Tap, brought to you by Flyway Brewing, weekdays in the zone, where we'll break down what you should be watching and listening for on the buzz every day during the work week. Flyway Brewing, fresh beer starts here. Follow the migration, and the Little Rock location is now open in Breckenridge Village. Find out more about all they have to offer at flywaybrewing.com.
This is Sports Center.
It was a trio of bowl results on Tuesday. Louisiana Tech rallies from behind to beat Coastal Carolina 23-14 in the Independence Bowl. Then Brett Bielema and Illinois get win number 9 of the year. It was a walk-off 30-28 victory over Tennessee. The Vols finish 8-5, but don't beat a single team with a winning record in 2025. And then to end the day, it was a thriller as Sonny Dykes and TCU take down number 16 USC 30-27 with a walk-off touchdown in overtime. The Trojans finished with a 9-win season. The second 12-team college football playoff kicks off tonight as Miami meets Ohio State at 6:30. You can catch the game on ESPN. You can also catch it right here on 103.7 The Buzz. I'm Josh Neighbors for the Buzz Radio Network.
Oaklawn is here for when you want real action, and the wait is over. Live racing is back. Every weekend brings big moments, big crowds, and your chance to feel the thrill of a big win. The holiday racing season begins Friday, December 12th, and runs through January 4th. Then, the excitement returns with the classic racing season, January 30th through May 2nd. It's racing, it's winning, it's everything you've been waiting for. Oaklawn Hot Springs. Join the fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Steve Edwards Jr. with Edwards Food Giant and Edwards Cash Saver. Christmas season is upon us, and with that comes all the typical hustle and bustle of the holidays. This Christmas, as you hang your stockings and sip the hot chocolate, take a moment to celebrate the true reason for the season. Love, hope, and joy brought to us on that first Christmas night. Share kindness, offer forgiveness, and embrace the love that came to us that holy night. From the entire team at Edwards, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
We got the big deals at the Big Lock. The Big Lock Benton.
It's the wrap-up the year sales event at the Big Lock, Chris Crane Dodge Jeep Ram in Benton. Get our best deals of the year on Ram 1500 pickup starting at just $34,900 or up to $14,000 off new Ram 2500 pickup trucks. Don't miss the wrap-up the year sales event at the Big Lock, Chris Crane Dodge Jeep Ram in Benton or chriscranecars.com.
The Big Lock Benton.
Awesome Wednesday edition of Morning Mayhem is in the books. Want to thank Trey Reed, Bill Vickery, Walt Coleman, Mark May, and Joe Nichols for stopping by the show. Roger and Baz are back on Friday as the boys bring in the new year on Morning Mayhem. I hope everybody has a safe and happy new year and enjoy the college football playoff.
Good mix of music here. Want to thank Kyle Sutherland for coming on. Out of Bounds, final show of the year. Josh Neighbors, Jackson Braswell, Wes and Joe are enjoying some well-deserved time off. Big news we just had, Grayson Wilson entering the transfer portal. The former Conway and former...
CAC Mustang.
Yeah, so Mustang and a Wampus Cat. Wow. He's been a Razorback, a Wampus Cat, and a Mustang. Pretty good variety there.
So you think his next school he has to transfer to, it's got to be a unique mascot.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. A rubber duck? That's baseball. The Akron Zips. What do you think is the weirdest college mascot?
The Boll Weevils.
Fine. Let's go Division I mascot.
Oh, gosh.
Not basketball, football for him. What's the weirdest one you can do?
Well, let me think on that one. I'll come back to it.
Also, I have a question about Chinese takeout that I want to ask you in a little bit.
Okay.
It stemmed from something that my girlfriend Allison and I were talking about. We'll read from the 501-661-1037, the D3 Auto Sales text line here in a second. We've got Mark on the line. Mark, Thanks for calling back, and you got a 3-point plan, I hear.
Yeah, hey guys. Yeah, to fix this whole mess with college football, got like a 3-point plan. Number one, the money. Have a solid salary cap around $20-25 million, and if a college athlete takes an NIL deal from a school, no matter what it is, he can't leave for 3 years with maybe an option to renegotiate after 2. But that locks the kid in where he can't go into a portal if he takes an NIL deal. Number 2,
Hold on. Do you mind
chaos.
if I evaluate? We talk about each one.
Yeah.
So on that front, are they going to be employees? Or are they not employees?
Well, I you can work that out. I don't know.
Well, the
I
distinction's big because
thought-
you can't. So that you can't tell them they can't transfer if they're not employees. You
Well,
can't do that.
However, you have to enforce it. You
Okay.
have to take that step. So
Okay.
if they have to be an employee to do that, then you do it.
Point
Number 2, the
go ahead.
coaching chaos. Yeah, the coaching chaos. You can't hire an active coach on an active college team until after the national championship. So the week after the national championship, you can start hiring a coach that's on an active roster. The coach is just sitting at home with no job. That's fine. You can fire your coach. That's fine. But not hiring until give them about 3 weeks after the national championship to hire. Then you have the transfer portal. One portal a year, and only the kids that are eligible. If they've taken an NIL deal at another school, they can't go into the portal. But other than that, you have one portal a year after 3 weeks or a month of the coaching hire period. And that would go a long way, I think, to fix it.
All right, so I'm going to evaluate the second part. So what you're saying, like every other pro sport, if a player is under contract, he cannot go somewhere else. That is
right.
So that I'll ask you, Mark. Are you okay with it being professional, with them being employees?
Well, I mean, we're already there.
Right. I'm with you on that front.
You're already there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's by a different name, a rose by another name, fine. But we're already there. So you got to deal with it. How are you going to deal with it? Yeah, you got to do it that way. Otherwise, I mean, there is no. I mean, this is total chaos. You can take $1 million NIL deal and leave the next year.
Well, Mark, it is chaos because the power apparatus and at the NCAA did not spend time thinking about what would happen when this went to the courts. They spent all of their time and energy fighting it and not accepting that it might happen. And the courts have been pretty unanimous in their going against them. Also, school administrators have spent every single dollar that they get, and that's a lot of schools in a lot of different areas, not just athletics, but they've boosted their own salaries, AD salaries, assistant AD salaries, facilities. And so once the kids have gotten themselves, the rights to get a piece, now everybody's like, well, where is there money that's been instant? Yeah, there is. You've just been spending it on yourself. And so that's one of the big things about this is that, getting everybody to consent to this is going to be very, very challenging. But what you're describing with players can't go from this place to the next place. I mean, that is pro, right? Carson Palmer had to retire to get out of the situation with the Bengals and eventually move on. That's the only way out of it. Guys hold out in the NFL, but guess what? They eventually come back. But also, they're NFL employees, right? So if we want that, we're going to have to be okay with them being employees. That's old. If you want rules, you have to be okay with that, which I am.
Yeah, no doubt.
Awesome, Mark. Well, we appreciate the call, man.
Okay, man, no problem. Bye-bye.
Yeah, and it makes people uncomfortable, but that's the reality. There was the BCS championship game, right? And then they went to the 14 playoff, and then they were like, "Why? We've got 3 playoff games, 2 semis, and a final. We're making a lot of money, aren't we? Why we just triple the number of games we're playing, right? That's a lot more money." And now they are, right? We had 4 games last week, and guess what we're gonna have this week, Jackson? 4 more games, and then we're gonna have the original, 2 semis and a final. So you've added 8 extra opportunities to make money. 8 $10+ million, $10+ million viewer events, folks. This is being treated like a product, like a big business product by the administrators, by the coaches, with how much money, by the some of the boosters as well. why are we not treating the athletes like they are part of a massive operation, just like the NFL does? I know it's uncomfortable because they're young, but guess what? Like, I will not have sympathy for a kid if he's 18 years old and he signs a contract and wants to transfer. Well, buddy, you signed a 2-year contract. But guess what? He's 18, so he's actually learning something. Like, that is the one thing about this, is that I don't just want to make excuses for the players all the time. But the thing is that if they're employees, then I'm okay with it, because guess what? At least they're going to have some protection in terms of what rights they have and whatnot. And also, it's a learning experience because you will make bad decisions in life. I made a lot between 18 to 22 years old, and that's part of that time in life. And so I think that, these kids, those decisions that they make are going to be much more costly, their mistakes. But I think that that's okay, because that's a part of this. I mean, that's the learning that's going to happen. But these kids, their skill is football, all right? And their ability to make football, you don't get to do it for very long. So, these kids deserve the money. They are the labor, especially with football, and they're going to have to be made labor, I think, to get this thing done.
Yeah, and the bottom line is we're not going back. They are employees basically already, so you might as well make that official. And I actually love the idea Mark pitched about contracts. Now, I don't know if they would agree to a 3-year contract, but I mean, even a 2-year contract, make them stay a couple of years and acclimate themselves to the university, and that may allow them to have a little pride in where they play. That might instill some more pride into where they end up.
I think, but like, that's such an esoteric idea. It's like, how do you install pride into a collective bargaining agreement? You know what I mean? So the NBA, right? The NBA has a thing called the bird rights. So the way it works is, if you're Milwaukee and you have Giannis come up for a max extension, you can offer the supermax. You can offer more than the Lakers can. The reason why is because if every team could offer the same amount of money for a max contract, well, players would go spend time in Minnesota, and then they would go to L.A., and they go to New York.
Well, look at
it. So they built in an incentive for the kids to stay there longer. Cal actually mentioned something like that. He said 4 years at one school, and if you play all 4 at that school, you get a 5th. I didn't hate that idea, but that's just like the bird rights, right? Yeah. You're going to stay in Milwaukee. We're going to give you this gift, an extra $30-40 million on the contract to stay there. If you're going to stay at Arkansas, here's your gift for 4 years. You get an extra year of eligibility to play if you stay all 4 years there. I like that. That's the kind of creativity we're going to need, to do this. But the idea, like you said, like, we're not going backwards, folks. This is not heading in the other direction. But it needs leadership. Like, it's gonna take a lot of people too.
And Saban may be the right guy.
He's too old, and I think he's making a lot of money. I think I think Cody Campbell might be the right guy. The Texas Tech booster billionaire, really smart guy. I had him on my podcast a couple times before he was really blown up, and he's just really pragmatic. It's just very, very matter of fact, and not trying to get too crazy. He's trying to save college football, logically. But we're not going back. I know it makes people uncomfortable, but these kids should be employees. Let's see. Somebody says, as a rule, I disagree with Josh, but you are right in this case. They should be employees of the NCAA and contracted to play for whichever team. That would give the NCAA some teeth so they could govern it. That would make sense. Now, here's the other part of this we have to get, and I think that texter from the 870. Even if they're employees, their union might not consent to all this stuff, right? No. So it's like, I want a 2-3-year contract. No. If I'm an agent, I ain't telling you to take a 2-3-year contract. Daryl Macon, good example of this. I was talking to him, and I was talking to Bill Ingram, and shout out to Bill for listening. But, for those guys who are in Europe, like, it does not behoove you to sign 2-3-year contracts. Because if you're an American dude, what if the NBA does come calling, right? What if you have a Kendrick Nunn experience over there? What if you have like Matisse Thybulle, right? Or I think it's him. Go over there, have a good year, come back over. Well, if you have a good enough year there, but you're still locked into 2 years with the Guangdong Tigers, you're in some trouble. You can't, you have to break that. And I don't think teams are going to fork over extra cash to buy you out of your European player, right? So that's the thing about this, is that, like, the weird part is, Jackson, it's going to take people coming together, like. The union people, the agents, the union folks are going to have to work with the Greg Sankey's, the commissioner types of the world, to form it, and then they're going to fight over how it's made, right? But they're going to have to come together and then fight, is how it's going to have to work for them to be able to do it. So that's the interesting part about it. Let's see. Somebody says, Grayson Wilson leaving. Was he an SEC level dude? It's hard to say. Like quarterback, Bo Nix wasn't very good in the SEC and went to Oregon and lit it up, right?
And I think, I've had a chance to watch a few guys in high school. The one thing that I really enjoyed about watching Grayson Wilson, he threw a great ball. And what I mean by that is that he could really spin the ball. He threw a pretty spiral. He had good mechanics. Now, is he an SEC player? I don't know. I mean, we talked about Kane Archer at Greenwood. Is he an SEC player? Well, if you're comparing apples to apples, Kane Archer, a much more successful high school player.
Does not look like Anthony Richardson, but boy, is he good.
Yeah, I mean, he's really good. You don't know unless you get a chance. But, I mean,
there is some hesitation with that offense, too. So the one thing they say about that and he runs, that's the Josh Heupel style.
Yeah.
So that offense, folks, for those who don't know, it's called the veer and shoot. It spreads the field, and it's really a space game. They want to put their good receivers basically outside the numbers and create a box advantage. They want to run it right at you, and also they want to spread the field, so you can't devote resources there. The one criticism for quarterbacks as they go up, and especially the NFL, a lot of the reads and decisions are pre-made. So your Malik Willis's, Willis played it, Hendon Hooker of the world, right? Guys like that. Like, how many guys out of the Tennessee, Nico, for example, too? It's not a place you want to go play. You'll put up some big numbers, but,
it's not going to translate to the NFL.
Drew Lock played his last year there as well. It does not always translate. A lot of those veer and shoot guys don't go to the next level. You'll put up big numbers. Not saying Grayson Wilson couldn't be an exception, but I think the one concern is, are you seeing it the way you need to see it? Or is the coach seeing it for you?
The other thing I'll say about guys that are from Arkansas or in the area that you watch in high school and you can say, yeah, that guy's an SEC guy. There's only been one quarterback that I've ever seen play in high school that you watched him and you were like, yeah, that guy's an SEC guy. That was Ryan Mallett. I grew up in Texarkana. I got to see him at Texas High, and he is the only guy that I've ever seen in high school where I was like, yeah, that's it.
And once again, the thing is that, what is an SEC guy? Like, Cam Ward's a tank. But guess what? Physically didn't profile well enough, and then had to go to Incarnate Word, and then he had to go to Washington State, and then he went to Miami. That's how he got there. So it's not always like a linear Diego Pavia, JUCO, Mexico State, Vanderbilt, right? And those big recruits, those guys typically actually aren't. It's hard to play quarterback in the SEC. It is very difficult to do. It's difficult to learn how to play quarterback there.
And then you have a guy like Stetson Bennett, who
right?
Probably no one thought was an SEC quarterback.
He's a trigger man, right? He's a good trigger man, and I guess, but that's why, because when you have that offensive line and that defense, but guess what? The other quarterbacks are facing that defense. Right? They're facing Oklahoma's defense, which, and then the next week they're playing Alabama's defense. They're playing Auburn's defense was fantastic this year. So, I mean, you're facing all these tough defenses, which makes learning the position hard. It's easier for a Bo Nix to go to Oregon. Hey, a little Oregon State action in there, throw a little Wazoo defense, give me a little Cal and Stanford defense, and then, hey, we got a tough one against Washington, but guess what? Most of the time, it's not that hard. And then the SEC, it's just all killer, no filler, right? Like you might have Ole Miss's pass rush from last year, and then A&M's pass rush this year, and then Florida's pass rush this year, and then Texas. I mean, back to back to back to back. Which, trying to improve against that level of competition, it's difficult because you're trying to learn and succeed at the same time.
And we've had a few guys come from the state that I think in high school you kind of didn't know whether or not they were going to be SEC ready. I mean, think about the Allen brothers, Brandon Allen
right.
and Austin Allen. I wasn't sure they were going to pan out as SEC quarterbacks, and they did because they had time and they stuck with the program. So Grayson Wilson could absolutely have a great college career. He's got the intangibles, and it'll be interesting to see where he lands.
We'll take your calls coming up next here in that segment, and also the start of the third hour. Make sure, guys, check out Bet Saracen for these lines tonight for the college football playoff. Also, they've got some great player props as well. And they've got all the future odds, NFL MVP odds, national championship odds. They get creative over there. And also, Double R does the work over there. I've watched him, pen and paper, pencil in hand, create the Double R props. Those are his folks. They're not generating for him. He is putting in the legwork and making it happen. So thanks to Bet Saracen. And also, they're sponsoring the basketball postgame show with Wes and I on Saturday. Be right back.
Welcome to Moe's. Everyone knows that coming into Moe's for our Moe Monday special is the best deal in burritos. But what about those other 6 days? Well, let me introduce the new Moe Value Meal. Junior burrito, side of queso, chips, salsa, and a fountain drink for only $9.99. And the best part? It's available all day, every day at Moe's Southwest Grill. Now here's my daughter Andy Kate with a special reminder.
Remember, kids eat free on Sundays. Welcome to Moe's.
Hi, it's Frank Fletcher from the Fletcher Dodge store here in Sherwood. Folks, if you're shopping for a new car or truck, I hope you'll come see us and give us a chance to earn your business. We have huge discounts, 0% financing available, and we'll give you $1,000 over Kelly Blue Book value for your trade-in. Folks, I guarantee you a hassle-free buying experience. And if you've had credit problems in the past, listen to this. We have an easy pre-approval process. Just go to FletcherCredit.com to get started. You can be pre-approved in minutes. It's really not hard. FletcherCredit.com. Folks, we're also still buying cars every day. If you got an old car or truck you want to turn into cash, bring it to Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood and ask for Chris or Andy. Shop Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood before you buy anywhere else. Shop in person or shop online at FletcherDeals.com. Thank you.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
It's really been amazing, the amount of people that I've had contact me, and the talk is generally centered around QC Kinetics, and whether it's a knee, whether it's a back, a hip, shoulder.
He's always happy to talk about how QC Kinetics all-natural regenerative treatments finally gave him relief without surgery. That's former pro football player Bobby Carpenter.
My message to them is do not wait and push off a week, a month, whatever it is. So if you want to feel better this summer, now would be the time to get in. If you want to feel better in the fall, make sure that you're getting in here so you can go out and play golf and do the things that you love and enjoy.
Spoken by a man who experienced relief firsthand. QC Kinetics gave this former pro athlete back his mobility, his activity, and they'll do the same for you.
Has really helped me in just my general quality of life.
Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today. QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 501-214-5880. That's 501-214-5880. 501-214-5880.
When Second's making a play, Short's got to cover.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle.
Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage.
It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself.
1, 2, 3, Wildcats!
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
See Shelter Agent Steven Reiser, Seth Boyd, or Todd Martin in Jacksonville today.
Ready for action? Your Little Rock Trojans are turning up the heat. Be there when the Trojans take the floor at the Jack Stevens Center on January 1st as the women take on Tennessee Tech at 3 and the men at 5 p.m. Every play, every shot. It's the hottest game in town. Get tickets today. Single game tickets and multi-game ticket packs are available at lrtrojans.com. Don't miss out on the action. Get your tickets now at lrtrojans.com.
Jackson and I are actually talking about Twin Peaks right now. They are a sponsor of this very program. Sabrina Woodall is their sales rep here, and she's having a birthday today. So happy birthday to my friend and colleague, Sabrina. And Jackson and I are going to head to Twin Peaks after this, and we're going to get that beer flatbread special. So that's exciting. It's very,
If my wife is listening, yeah, we'll see.
Okay, well,
I'm probably going, yeah.
Yeah, and hey, guess what? She can have one too. It's a great deal. Josh Neighbors, Jackson Braswell filling in for Wes Moore and Joe Franklin. They'll be back on Friday. A lot to get to, over the next 2 days. You got college basketball conference games are being played right now, as well as we got bowl games. Diego Pavia loses his final game as a college player. It is also New Year's Eve, so Alice, my girlfriend, and I, I'm probably going to save that. I'm going to get that flatbread, put it in the box, take it home. Might have that. I'm calling a Little Rock basketball tomorrow, so I might have that throughout the day as I prepare for that game. We talked about getting Chinese tonight. Allison and I did, and I was like, "Oh, great! We'll order Chinese. We'll go home and watch the game." And she's like, "I want to eat there," and I'm like, "I don't think I've ever eaten in a Chinese restaurant. Like, when I eat Chinese, it's takeout, always. Am I crazy? Do you ever sit in a Chinese restaurant?"
This is going to be even more shocking. I've never eaten Chinese food.
Okay, that's. I'm not sure we get on board with that.
I guess
you're just the wrong person to ask.
I guess I've been to like a Chinese buffet in person.
All right, 501-661-1037. Am I being crazy for being like, I don't want to sit down in the restaurant? Like, it's Chinese takeout. Like, the thing that they say that, the tradition for non-Christians on Christmas, especially Jewish people will go, they'll get that and they'll watch Christmas movies, and that's a big day of business for the restaurants. And, but like, you don't go and sit there at Fantastic China.
Somebody does.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think if I asked them what their business was like in terms of the splits of like,
probably
road games, home games, I think
I'm
it's
a big
bit more.
Japanese food guy, big hibachi guy.
Well, that's a little bit different. The Japanese, I mean, it's more expensive. This is your more colloquial fare. I don't want to
orange chicken.
Yeah, there you go. Beef and broccoli action. Lo mein. 501-661-1037. In hour number 3, we will talk with one Paul Catalina of 365 Sports and Rogue Media. Smart guy, comedian, Florida State guy. Also really smart when it comes to the future of college athletics and knows a thing or two about some ball himself. So we'll have Paul on, talk about the playoffs. Also, Arkansas hoops. That's what we're talking the next half hour. We're talking about Arkansas hitting the conference schedule. There is a lot of optimism, but I'll tell you what, Jackson, I believe that this is actually going to be a harder coaching job this year than it was last year. I think the team is better. I think actually because of that, the coaching job is going to be harder. So we'll talk more about that coming up. But fired up for Saturday. I've had a lot of folks ask me for tickets for that game Saturday, because people are so pumped. And I love that. That's a great setting, right, to have a home game, to bring in a Rick Barnes. I'm a Rick Barnes guy. I love Rick Barnes. So I'm sad that he's going to be on the wrong end of the game on Saturday. But great opponent to have. And falls in with the challenges that Arkansas has had early this year.
Yep.
They've tested themselves, and so this shouldn't be anything new.
And I mean, I think the bigs from Tennessee are going to be potentially troublesome. It's going to be Arkansas's guards, how they play against a good Tennessee team. I'm just glad we're opening up conference play at home. It feels like the last few years we've been on the road at Tennessee, but we almost always start conference play with a juggernaut, a top team in the SEC. But I think Arkansas is the better squad, and looking forward to starting 1-0 in conference play. That'd be great.
Also have the Bet Saracen Arkansas basketball postgame show at Walk-On's 2 o'clock game. Will be live 30 minutes after the Learfield, after the game's over, after the Learfield show. So Wes and I will be there. Hour 3 coming up.
Arkansas Municipal Equipment in Poen, founded over a decade ago by Daniel and Vanessa Ellison. They lease and sell trucks, trash carts, roll-off dumpsters, and street sweepers. Proud to be Arkansas's only authorized dealer for New Way refuse trucks and Timco street sweepers. Your authorized dealer for Galfab roll-off and hook lift trucks. You can get parts and service for all makes and models with technicians traveling the state to take care of you.
AME, it's the service after the sale.
Ray Tucker with good news for enthusiasts of Triumph motorcycles. Honda of North Little Rock now carries the legendary classics and cutting-edge rides. We have the Bonneville Bomber, Daytona 600, the TF450X, the Stunning Evo Special Edition, and the Rocket 3 Evel Knievel. You get the idea. Come see us at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Do New Year's resolutions always have to involve grit and determination? What about a pleasant one? Like, in 2026, you're going to give yourself something luxurious. Like a visit to Genesis of Conway. Wait, more than just a visit. How about the style and engineering you'll find in a brand new 2026 GV80? The dealership will bend over backwards to make it happen. You deserve a 2026 that involves Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
Don't get sidetracked.
That man is playing Galaga.
We'll keep you on course.
Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
103.7 The Buzz.
As we get ready to ring in 2026, everyone wants to make sure that you make it home safe from your New Year's Eve parties. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration shows that over 4,900 drunk driving deaths took place around New Year's Eve between 2019 and 2023. There will be increased police presence on several roads tonight. J-Hook Towing is also offering to take your car home for free. And Rainwater Holt in Sexton is offering $50 vouchers to Uber between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. This is available for people in Little Rock so everyone can avoid getting behind the wheel drunk. You can learn more about how to get a voucher on our website, krk.com. And people planning to ring in the new year with fireworks need to know their city's rules. Little Rock City officials are urging people to be responsible. They say fireworks are not allowed in city limits. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm KRK's Jessica Rockwell. Have a great new year.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center.
Wednesday's highs reached the upper 50s to low 60s with lots of sunshine and calm westerly winds. And then for New Year's Eve, temperatures drop into the low 40s by the time the ball drops, and then we'll eventually reach the mid 30s into New Year's Day in the morning. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm Arkansas Storm Team meteorologist Jenna Warner.
Fletcher Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
103.7 The Buzz is proud to bring you college football talk with Mark May every Thursday morning on Morning Mayhem, brought to you by Edwards Food Giant, the Meat People, and Alcoa Community Federal Credit Union. Listen as Mark breaks down the week's biggest games and makes his predictions. Mark May on The Buzz, presented by Edwards Food Giant and Alcoa Community Federal Credit Union.
Oaklawn is here for when you want real action, and the wait is over. Live racing is back. Every weekend brings big moments, big crowds, and your chance to feel the thrill of a big win. The holiday racing season begins Friday, December 12th, and runs through January 4th. Then, the excitement returns with the classic racing season, January 30th through May 2nd. It's racing, it's winning, it's everything you've been waiting for. Oaklawn Hot Springs. Join the fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Happy New Year from the friendly folks at Alcoa Community Federal Credit Union, where you're always greeted by a real person and receive an amazing service. Kick off the year with our New Year auto loan special. Enjoy no payments for 90 days, an ultra-low 2.026% interest rate, and up to 84 months financing. Offer valid on 2024, 25, and 26 models for new and used vehicles or refinance and save. Apply securely today at alcoacommunityfcu.org. Alcoa Community Federal Credit Union, proudly serving 15 counties across Central Arkansas.
This is the Pigskin Preacher, bringing you the word. The coming of a new year brings new opportunities with it. Alfred Lord Tennyson writes, "Ring out the old, ring in the new. Ring, happy bells, across the snow. The year is going, let him go. Ring out the false, ring in the true." American original Ben Franklin counsels, "Be at war with your vices, at peace with your neighbors, and let every new year find you a better man." Amen, Ben. These are worthy goals for all of us to pursue. Your friends at Double B's are here to simplify your life by serving you with quality, efficiency, and value. Stop by one of Double B's 34 locations across the natural state for some fuel for your vehicle and fuel for your body. Double B's. It's where you gas it, grab it, and go. That's Double B's.
For over 30 years, Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse has been Arkansas's truck accessory headquarters and the only stop for all your truck parts and accessories. If it goes on a truck, Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse has got it. And that includes upgrading your truck with Vortex spray liners. Tough, durable, proudly made in the USA. Their spray liners can protect your truck for years to come. Call Pickup Truck Accessory Warehouse at 501-568-0040 to schedule your spray. Or stop by 65th and University.
Check out the new clothing at Bell & Swart in Conway. A new cricket polo with Razorback logo, button-downs, vests, sweaters, slacks with UCA or Arkansas gear from Johnny O and Peter Millar. Great staff, fantastic service. Bell & Swart, the only Central Arkansas men's store with a tailor on staff to fit you. So go now to Bell & Swart, 1011 Oak Street in Conway on Facebook and Instagram.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy,
Live from the Signal Media
HIMS.com/JOY.
Studios, this is Out of Bounds with Joe Franklin and Wes Moore on 103.7 The Buzz.
All right. One more hour to go here on this edition of Out of Bounds. Josh Neighbors and Jackson Braswell. We were your tandem all year for the Arkansas High School Football Game of the Week on The Buzz. Back together here for this today. Jackson, one of the great joys of 2026 for me was actually getting to know you and getting to work with you.
Man, what a nice thing to say. I
mean,
mean,
we had a lot of fun, man.
Mine as well. You know,
and Wes Moore, who was owning the show, picked a bunch of awesome games for us.
He did. He really did. And got to do the state championship, see it all wrap up together. And no, it was a lot of fun. Been a few years since I put the headset on. Was a former broadcaster, washed up, and kind of brought me back to life this year. It was fun working with you.
So also, Allison said she's getting texts about the Chinese food thing.
Oh no,
it was she was being a little rude about it. She's like, I want to go inside. What do you mean? And I'm like, well, come on. Yeah,
she wants to dress up. You need to put some nice clothes on, take her out on a date. I'm Team Allison.
All right. Well, you're a shill, and you never had Chinese food, so I don't believe you at all. We've got to take care of some business.
What's Trending in Sports is brought to you by Arkansas's own West Rock Coffee. Join West Rock Coffee, the Razorbacks, and their 1.5 million farmers around the globe. It's fall, so now it's time for your team to stock up on coffee, tea, and water delivered directly to your business. Contact them at westrockcoffee.com or 833-886-JAVA today.
All right, what's trending? Well, in the Arkansas world, Jackson, Grayson Wilson hits the transfer portal. They now only have one scholarship quarterback on the roster. That's KJ Jackson. They're going to obviously have to build some depth at that position. But Coach Silverfield obviously had 2 quarterbacks last year, looked pretty capable. So we'll see what he can do there. But that's the big story right now for the Hogs as the portal is threatening to open in 2 days.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, going to have to go get at least one, probably 2, maybe even 3 guys out of the portal. I mean, you want I feel like you need at least 3 scholarship quarterbacks on your roster, just barring injury or anything else.
Yes.
I mean,
yes. Missouri was on 3 for half the year this year.
And as good as KJ Jackson looked in some of his limited time, he still hasn't proven anything or given Arkansas fans that much of a reason to believe that he's the guy, that he's going to be the difference maker. So, yeah, I mean, I think you need to go and not just get a couple guys. You need to get a guy, a real quarterback that's proven some things to come in and compete.
Yeah, and there's just a bunch of examples this year. I mean, Nebraska fell off a cliff when Raiola was not playing, and you saw it at Arizona State. Right, Jeff Sims is competent, so they're able to still go on an 8-4 season despite losing Sam Levitt, who's very, very good. Right, that stuff, the depth really, really does matter. Ole Miss, I mean, the prime example, I'm not sure Lane Kiffin thought Trinidad would be this good, but the fact that he found a guy who was capable of this is a big credit to him. So also what's trending? Diego Pavia's career is over. 34-27. Iowa scores 34 points.
Whoa.
My God. What's happening? Diego Pavia is 25-38 for 347 and 2 scores. He ran for 36 yards and a touchdown. His career comes to an end. I mean, Jackson, he is, we'll see how long the current state of affairs lasts, but he's currently he's one of the most important players in the history of college athletics because of his win in court. Because the rule. So for those who don't know, he was in JUCO, And the argument he made in court was that the 2 years he spent in JUCO were not the same as years at a Division I university in terms of the money-making opportunity and level of football, so therefore they shouldn't count. The court sided with him, and so he got 2 more years of eligibility. And he went to New Mexico State. It was successful there. Then he went to Vanderbilt, and, I mean, he's a part of one of the biggest turnarounds in college football history, and this year was a Heisman finalist, 3,200 passing yards, 27 touchdowns, 8 INTs, and he ran for 826 yards and 9 scores. So, I mean, a program-changing player. He has changed the fortunes there because it's been a team effort. They've gotten a lot of good players, but what he did and what Jerry Kill and the rest of those New Mexico State guys did, he's the face of it, that they changed that program.
And I also think you're about to find out how important having a good quarterback is, because I think once he's gone from Vanderbilt goes back to
they have 5-star. They got a 5-star.
Oh yeah, they
yeah.
But still, I mean, he may not be
yeah. I mean, we've seen a million times, right? Well, Drew Aller and Cade Klubnik are 5-stars, right?
Yep.
Jeff Driscoll, number 1 quarterback in the country. Also happening right now, 17-10. Michigan is leading Texas in the bowl. It's something.
It looks like a Cheez-It bowl.
Is it Cheez-It?
Yeah.
Did you watch the Texas Bowl or the Pop-Tart Bowl rather?
I mean, I saw some of the theatrics, but
it's great. Like both teams really cared. It was a good game, and then in the breaks, they're like, "Time to retire Strawberry."
Well, I mean, there's a lot of these types of games now because they're playing like a Kellogg's Bowl right now, and one of the Arizona State players scored a touchdown and then jumped into a giant bowl of Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Treats are a red-hot stock right now. You buy if you can. Duke leads Arizona State 28-24 in the Tony the Tiger Sutton Bowl.
There it is.
That's at halftime, too.
So it's not Kellogg's, sorry.
Yep, so the ACC champion, Duke Blue Devils, in the Sun Bowl. And then Nebraska is up on Utah 14-7 at the half in that game. And then tonight, 6:30 on ESPN. Number 10, Miami. Number 2, Ohio State. That is a rematch, I believe, of the 2002 championship game. Somebody help me out.
I remember watching it.
The D3 Auto Sales text line, 501-661-1037. I think.
Who played on that team? Like Willis McGahee? Would he have been too old, or was he?
The 2002. Well, Miami got robbed against Ohio State. Let's see. Hold on. Miami, Ohio State. Is 2000? They played back-to-back years. Somebody on the D3 Auto Sales text line, please help me out here, because I was 4 years old in this era. So 2001, Miami had a perfect season. Let's see. Fiesta Bowl, 2003, when Ohio State beat Miami 31-24. I believe there was a controversial play in that game as well. So the rematch there. And I'll tell you what, Jackson, I was talking with our good friend Jack Allen, and I was telling him, this game for Miami it's massive because, look, they beat Notre Dame, and Notre Dame put the championship last year, but that was a good Notre Dame team that didn't really find their form until later in the year. Texas A&M is a good team, but they're kind of like Miami, trying to make sure they assert themselves. Beating Ohio State would be huge. Mario can build. We don't know if Mario can outcoach and outfox other guys because he is very, very, very conservative and makes a lot of bad decisions in games. This is going to test that. They've got a defense good enough. They're going to have to elevate scheme. Malachi Toney, obviously. Getting him the rock's going to be huge.
Malachi Toney is their offense.
Yes. It's very much like Satani at Oklahoma, right? Carson Beck's had a good year. It's been nice to see him rebound the way that he did.
He's a game manager, though, and I feel like you need a game breaker against Ohio State.
Well, with their defense, not necessarily, right? I mean, we've seen, and they've got 2 excellent rushers.
But Ohio State's defense too.
Yeah, but I would say the more destructive players are. I mean, Ruben Bain and Akeem Mazador are 2 of the best defensive ends. Are going to most likely be both first round. Ruben Bain for sure, first round picks on those edges. So we'll see if they get any pressure. And I'll tell you what, the teams that Ohio State has struggled with this year, Texas, right, a little bit of slow burn in that game, and also Indiana. So if you can meet them physically, and make Julian Sain a bit uncomfortable, we kind of know how that's going to go. So I think that would be it's a exciting matchup. But out of these 4, which one are you most excited for?
I'm excited for this one tonight, but it is because I've got a really close friend who's a Miami fan, grew up in Arkansas. He's actually going to the game tonight in Arlington to check out his Hurricanes. He went to the game at Texas A&M, and now he's going tonight. So I'm rooting for Miami. I don't think they're going to win. Sorry, Blaine, but I'll be rooting for them.
9.5-point underdogs last time I checked at Bet Saracen are the Canes against the defending national champion Ohio State Buckeyes, who could be end up being national champions back-to-back years and not being Big Ten champions back-to-back years as well.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All right, let's talk some hoops. Let's do it. Jackson Braswell is here. Jackson Braswell, as our man Shots likes to say. I'm Josh Neighbors, 501-661-1037. Folks are excited. They should be. This basketball team is very talented. They are talented. They're just as good as they were last year, probably better personnel-wise. The thing that's interesting, Jackson, I want to know your thought about this, is that I think this job is going to be a harder one for Cal this year because last year when Boogie got hurt, things fell into place. They didn't have that many guys. So the rotation was the rotation. It was one of those deals where, hey, in that Kansas game at the end of the year, Richmond and Knox didn't play well, but guess what? They were going to play the next game anyway. You knew John L. Davis was going to play 39 minutes a game, right, if he wasn't in foul trouble, because they did not have a ton of players. They had good players. They actually had, it was pretty weird for a team that was that small. They had two big guys who did different things, right? They had multiple guards who could attack. And they had, guys John L. Davis could shoot some. Carter Knox, a good three-point corner shooter. But, they just had a team that made sense. And Brazil played really well as well. So they actually had a little bit of everything. They had length, they had size, they could stretch the floor, they could attack the rim. This team's got a lot of everything. The big stuff is a little bit different, obviously. But, that's only going to come into play in a couple games.
And I don't think this team has figured out quite yet who your best five are to close out a game, because and we'll find it out. We found it out at the end of last year. Boogie Fland healthy wasn't as good as Darius Acuff is now, and I think he's a guy that's absolutely going to be the one controlling the basketball. DJ Wagner is a good basketball player, and you saw in the NCAA tournament last year his ability to get downhill. He sometimes gets lost in the shuffle a little bit with this team, but I think he's going to be super important in conference play, having that veteran.
He leads by
nature.
example, man.
Yeah.
Because the same way Cal was taking flack for not being the guy that that he once was, DJ Wagner was taking flack at the same time for not being the guy that people thought he would be.
And probably at this point in his career, he's not ever going to end up being a first or second round draft pick, but he's a great
really
college basketball player.
And look, here's the thing about him is that he's got a college skill. He can get to the rim, right? He is fast and he can finish around the rim. The thing about him that I find so impressive is the fact that he's been accepting whatever role is given to him. I mean, after he took the keys and took them as far as they did last year, you'd think he'd be like, "This is my team." But "this is my team" does not have to mean that he's got the ball in his hands all the time.
Yeah.
He stepped aside so we could figure out how good these other guys were. But guess what? In a tight game, in a close game, because of what he does, the way the defense has to collapse, or if they don't collapse, guess what? He's getting to the rim. You still want that guy to have the ball, right?
And he's shooting the basketball better as well.
And if it's not going well for Acuff, guess what? Give it to the old man. That old man, he's 20 years old, but give it to the guy with the experience who's, he's got scars now, right? And he was not excellent in the end of that game against Tech. He was not excellent. But guess what? A lot of those guys who are winners, like the Claytons, the Brooms, all those guys, scars, right? Zakai Ziegler. These guys who won a lot of games. The guys who caused Boogie Fland to take losing shots and lose games. That's what DJ Wagner is becoming, right? And so it's a fun it's not Malik Thomas and Acuff in the backcourt. It's Wagner and Acuff. Yeah. I mean, I don't care what you say. Thomas has maybe elite scoring ability, but it's not the kind of scoring ability that wins championships in college. It'll help you win certain games along the way, but primarily what those two guys do at guard, Acuff and Wagner, every game it's going to make it tough the way they attack and they make the defense collapse.
And I love watching Malik Thomas play. Super talented, as you can say, elite scoring ability, but I'm not sure that in a physical game like the game we had against Houston, or if you get in a close game against Tennessee, that he's one of the five that needs to be on the floor, because I feel like Billy Richmond needs to be on the floor in some of those late game situations, just because he's a guy who could get a tip in a big moment, or he can get an offensive rebound or a steal.
Yeah. He just does a lot of everything.
Yeah.
And I think what's funny about him is that he's going to end up being a pro. I think he's going to end up being a better pro than he is college.
He reminds me of Patrick Beverly.
Well, I think he reminds me actually of Lance Stevenson, because the thing is, he's a playmaking two guard, But I think he's destined to be on a bad team in the NBA, and then like they're going to give him the ball, and he's going to be like, okay, I'm going to learn how to play with the ball because he's not initiating offense, but he definitely has the size and the. I think he's got eventually like he sees stuff well. I'm not sure if he's got the basketball smarts yet, but he's not on ball. I think his future would be as like an on ball attacker slasher, kind of like a second unit leading guy.
And he's going to become a better shooter too.
Yeah, he's a good defender. He's a good defender, man.
Yeah,
he's tough.
And guys in the NBA get paid to
play
defense.
Oh my God! Well, if you play defense, you can make through. I mean, Isaiah Joe's going to have he is going to have a nice looking bank account at the end of his career because how good he is on defense and the ability to shoot. Like there's definitely a place for that in the NBA, right? With how much 3-point shooting we're getting. It was interesting. Wes Moore and I were talking about Trevin Brazil. And we were talking about, how his performances, it's not as he goes, the team goes, but like his performances are a good indicator of how the team played. Yeah. Because if he played well, if he's like 8 for 11, that meant that they were dribble driving, they were getting him the ball, he was open. He was probably shot faking, getting to the rim, and he was also knocking down open threes, right? Because that's the thing about him is he's a great guy to have on the wing because if the defense starts to churn, he can catch, shot fake, one dribble, and just pound the yamming on you. And then also he's got the ability to stretch the floor, and he's tough to close out on because he's so tall, right? Like the one thing about Kevin Durant makes it hard to guard. He's shooting over you, so it's not really like you're not in his face as much, because he's so talented, but he's the tall part really makes it easier to shoot. That's true for Brazil.
And I'm kind of tired of the narrative that Arkansas, we need to see Trevin Brazil be consistent. We need to see him be. He was so good at the end of last season. The only 2 games he hasn't been good this year is because he got in foul trouble in the first half and he had to sit an entire half. He has been wildly consistent, and I think. Imagine Trevin Brazil being an overseas prospect. You look at him at 6'9",
he's an NBA prospect.
6'10", shooting threes,
he's
dunking.
He's an NBA player.
But he's
for
not
sure.
on any mock drafts.
Well, the problem is that he needs to be tougher. Like the thing about it is
in the NBA he doesn't though.
No, you do because they're going to ask a guy that size to rebound some. I mean, he's not going to stand in the corner and shoot.
Look at Daniel Gafford.
But he rebounds. He's a rebounder.
You wouldn't have necessarily called him tough in college. You would have called him a freakish athletic.
But guys kind of have to like Grant Williams was the flip, right? Grant Williams was a post player. Well, he had to learn how to shoot threes and be a perimeter guy because he wasn't big enough, or he was not tall enough. Like Brazil, like they're going to ask him to rebound some because he's got that good length. The problem is that if I'm an opposing coach, I'm going to beat him up early because it might take him out of the game. He's one of those guys that mentally it can be a little bit of a roller coaster, and
we haven't seen that this year.
Well, I'm just saying with his performance, his performances are bad when he picks up fouls, and also there are times where he's been pushed away from the rim.
Yeah,
I don't like. That's what made him so good last year, though.
I'm a big Brazil fan. I mean,
I am too. I'm a huge
he's
Brazil
had
fan.
such a redemption story because there was a point last year. If you go and look at my Twitter, I think I tweeted, "Why is Brazil ever in the game?" Because at the beginning of last year, I mean, he was terrible.
I'll tell you the thing that about Brazil. Like, if y'all want to know what coaching is, not always wins and losses. I mean, this stuff manifested, but. Coaching is telling a guy like Brazil that we are going to need you. We are going to need you. I need you locked in. And when Adu Thero went down, they put him in that spot. And what Adu Thero brought was he would drive to the rim, tough rebounder. If he drives to the rim, you got to box him out because he's going to get that rebound. He's going to get that second chance points. Well, when Brazil came in for him, he actually played that way. And he was a better version of Thero because not only was he playing that way and doing those things, he could shoot.
Yeah.
Which Thero could only shoot at 29%. That's why he's gone to the NBA now because Cal's like, look, man, I'm going to use you the same way I used you last year, and that's not good for you. You learn how to shoot. Thero can defend. He's big. He's long. He's athletic. He needs to learn how to shoot. Brazil has got that, but the thing is that this is the harder part. Learning how to shoot's easy, right? Corner threes, locking in the gym. Learning how to be tough is hard.
Yeah.
Right? Learning how to be tough is very, very hard. And the games where he's tough, man, is impressive to watch.
I'm bullish on Brazil having a good NBA career. I think he is absolutely an NBA
The way he offensive rebounds, too. Just the thing about him is, like, with his size and athleticism, scoring is easy for him when Arkansas's offense works well. Also, you must account for him on the glass when he's attacking the glass offensively.
Yeah.
Because he is athletic enough to, like, he doesn't have to go over your back all the time. If he takes a good angle, he can sky over you and get an easy stick back. He makes you he keeps the defense honest in that way, and like I love that value, right? Like just the fact that you can't stop a guy like that when he's trying to rebound. You can't block a shot of a guy who's that tall when trying to close out after you got beat on a dribble drive.
I just feel like if he hadn't had some of those lapses early in his career, and he was a guy that was playing in like France right now, like a Wembanyama was. He's not Wembanyama, but you were watching some of his tape in the games that he played last year and early this year. You'd be like, this guy's a top 10 pick.
Well, it was a waste too because there were parts, last year with Muss, he was just on the perimeter. And, he's catching and shot faking. But it's like, dude, like you guys catch and shoot or catch, shot, fake, and drive. Like don't dance. Acuff can dance. Wagner can dance. You can't dance. Like that is not your game. Yeah. And that's why I like the fact that like he needs to be a straight line guy. Like he can get other parts of his game when he leaves, but he's got the attributes now to run towards the rim and rebound, shot fake, run towards the rim and lay it up. Or shoot the three. Right. You know what I mean? A jab, step back.
And I think you're going to see Tennessee try to attack him in this game and get him in foul trouble early because teams know when he is in the game and engaged, Arkansas is really hard to beat. Michigan State got him in foul trouble early. Houston got him in foul trouble early.
You can't replace that. That's why Arkansas struggles because you can't replace it. Right. When he's there, it's like he's the important piece to me. Yeah. Because when like the big runs Arkansas's been on this year against the good teams, guess who's always in the middle of it?
Yeah, he's hitting 2 or 3 threes, getting a putback dunk, and alley-oop. Yeah, I mean,
he's causing problems. He's a problem, causer. And I something else that's interesting. I saw a note from a listener yesterday, and said Knox needs to get engaged and involved. The challenge with this team is that you want to peak in March. You need your guys individually to do that too. Like, how do you feed all the mouths during the year? And make sure everybody, like, how do you make sure that 20-point game you got from Carter Knox in the Sweet 16 last year, how can you make sure that you get that when you need it? Another lost game.
I think that you could whenever you needed it, but the reality is Arkansas is not going to score 140 points a game.
But it's hard to keep everybody at the level, right?
Yeah, people aren't going to go off every single game. I mean, this team's fun to watch. They're shooting the ball well. I mean, you made 14 threes the other night. That's the difference in this year's team to last year's. Last year's team couldn't shoot the basketball. People would throw a zone at us, and we couldn't shoot them out
also, the thing about this year's team is, like, when Arkansas is making threes, it's generally an indicator of the shot quality, right? Like I think we're seeing an era now where college teams can, in the past, have generated open threes and just be like, clank, clank. That's not happening now. Kids are shooting threes at a high rate at younger ages. So if teams are generating those open wing threes, those open top of the key threes, at least to me, it feels like they're being made at a much higher rate. If Arkansas is making threes, it's generally because the quality of the shot is very, very high. And that's why, like Wagner and Acuff, those guys tend to get high-quality looks for themselves or others.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, obviously, Brazil's a key, but a guy who doesn't get talked about enough, who is a key to, I think, Arkansas either being a competitor or a true contender is Pringle.
It's going to be those bigs, right? Because the bigs have cost them.
You brought him in. He's a veteran. He's been around the block. He can rebound. He's a good dunker. We've got to find a way to get him to be a little more aggressive, offensively aggressive on the glass, because we're going to need those bigs. I mean, you saw a flash of Ewan against Houston.
Totally. Well, and the thing about it is, you don't need them to be 20 and 10.
No.
What you need is them to play, like to try and play guys to a draw.
Get to the free throw line. Well, get a stick back.
Well, it's like, when you have all of your bigs need to combine to like equal Boozer, right? Because like the thing is that those are the types of guys, and I've seen it with Zion, saw it with him. You see it somewhere with Zach Edey. Like, they get a friendly whistle in the post because the officials don't want to blow whistles, but like, their arm will find your head, and your head will commit a foul in those games.
Yeah,
that's the hard ones, right? Those are ultimately the tough ones, where it's like, okay, you need these guys basically in aggregate to beat what they're getting from the big, and then your guards to outplay their guards.
Because if Arkansas plays a team that is their best attribute is their guards, Arkansas is going to be better than that team.
But chances are your guards are not as good as Arkansas.
Yeah,
right?
and that's how I felt with the Louisville game. I felt like that was a great matchup for us.
Yeah,
and so it'll be the bigs for the Razorbacks who I think determine how far the team ultimately.
Yeah,
goes.
and I mean the matchups will matter a lot, but like Houston's going to make you be responsible and box out. And, I think that was a good test to have. It was a good reminder because I think Arkansas was feeling pretty good. They beat Louisville. They end up beating Texas Tech. You're feeling good. But remember, this Houston team, this Houston outfit, just almost won a national championship by, just pure physicality. They are not a fun offensive hang normally. And I didn't think it was possible to win a championship like that in 2025. They could have very easily done so.
They should have.
Yeah, they should have very easily done so. And that is an elite level. That's not just a one-off. St. John's was kind of the diet version of that. Then you play a Houston. Houston is they are a relentless group. And they create their quality shots by getting to the rim, a lot of it at times, rebounding. It wasn't like a crusher offensive rebounding wise, but it was pretty even. But just the physicality of it all, right? I mean, they kind of lead the dance physically. And in that game, the big difference was they got to the line 10 more times, to 35 free throw attempts.
The matchup I'm most looking forward to on Saturday is Tennessee's freshman Nate Ament against Braswell. Two guys that are similarly sized. Nate Ament a little more skilled offensively, but Ament was a guy that a lot of folks thought was going to end up a Razorback. It was really kind of Arkansas and Duke in the final two, and then Tennessee comes in at the end. I think Arkansas made a big push to get Ament, and we didn't.
Hey, this is where the old man needs to be the old man, right?
Yeah,
this is where you let the young guy say, hey, welcome to the SEC.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what we talked about happening last year. Arkansas needs to have the old guys be old guys.
Yep.
The thing about Jeni Broom was that was grown man strength. That is 2 years in the OVC, banging with Tennessee Tech, fist fighting your way, on Tuesday nights. That's what Arkansas needs, right? That's what you need when these kids step into the league, especially in January, before they get their footing. The old guys need to remind young guys, other teams, this is not going to be an easy
And luckily,
journey.
Arkansas's got a young guy who I don't think old guys are going to intimidate.
Well,
I don't think
I don't think so
guy.
either. But we all were pretty sold on Boogie Flan, and it was bad last year, so it's possible. But he appears he's different. He is very
just his facial expressions, how he doesn't celebrate really. He's a
killer.
He
looks
like a killer.
He reminds me of Brunson. He's got that. He's just his handle is excellent. When you saying earlier, if you double off a ball screen, if you blitz off a ball screen,
He's going to split you.
Here's the thing. He steps back and he's got that tight handle, so it's not like he's stepping all the way back and the offense moving back. He's diagnosing and then going. He's very, very good at that. And also, he, for a freshman, is taking a lot of really good shots. He's creating his own shots. This is not Brazil in the corner. And he's shooting over 50% his last 5 games, scoring 20 points a game. He's 50-40, 50% from the floor. He's 49% for the entire year, but the last 5, 53%. And also he's 40+% from 3.
The game looks easy for him. It doesn't. A lot of freshmen, the game looks sped up or too fast, and he's just at a level right now where everything is just. It's almost like a video game.
Yeah, the free throws need to be. It's the one part of his game where he becomes a complete player. But Jackson, I really believe this. He draft wise, he might not get drafted as high as Anthony Black because Anthony Black's physical traits were just. He's going to have, even if he loses one of his arms, like he has a robotic arm and can't shoot, he'll play in the NBA because of his ability to defend. Right?
Yeah.
He can defend. He can play make. Those are the two things that he could do, and that's why he led the SEC in minutes at the age of 18. But Acuff's got a chance to be a special. He's just. There's not many guys who at that age control. I remember watching D'Angelo Russell at Ohio State his freshman year and being like, this guy's just everything's he's the conductor. This game is going at his pace. His offense is sure to be the entire game is at his pace. I feel like Acuff can already dictate pace at the age of 18, and he's been doing it against the elite competition, like you mentioned.
Yeah, Arkansas. I've obviously been an Arkansas fan my entire life. Acuff's the first true point guard that I can remember that we've had that is able to control a game like that. He's been a ton of fun to watch, and
he's not just a scorer. Guys, scorers can control games.
He never goes down the court and looks like he's already got his mind made up that he's going to get a shot off. He's playing basketball.
It's a little Chris Paul-ish.
Yeah.
It is. It's a little Chris Paul-ish.
I think he's a closer comp to Chris Paul than he is Allen Iverson, and a lot of people try to compare him to Iverson.
I do too, yeah. It's because the below the rim finishing is why.
I think it's the braids, too.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's – I think Chris Paul might be the right thing, but the thing about Acuff still is a bit of a scorer. Chris Paul was like, I'll get my 4 or 5 elbow jumpers in, but like, he might have 2 points, 8 assists in the first quarter. Yeah. And then, like he'll hit 3 of those elbow jumpers he likes so much in the third. The offense will come. Like, he'll accumulate 20 throughout.
Darren Williams is another guy I think he kind of comes.
Yeah, Darren Williams, right? Yeah. I remember when people said that he was as good as Chris Paul and they were wrong, turns out. Yeah. What a dumb opinion to have there. But yeah, I mean, he's, I don't think it's an overstatement to say he's got that kind of skill.
Yeah.
Like, because the thing is the ball handle, that's work. Like, you get a tight handle, yeah, you have natural ability to flow, but like your ability to get yourself out of situations with your athleticism, you're only as good as your skills are, though, right? Yeah. Your skills are only as good as your cardio, but you're only as good as a player as your skills, will allow you to be. And he has got, somebody says he looks like Ice Cube. Whatever it is, he's been good, but the tests will come, right? And now the night in, night out grind comes. AAU Saturdays, and when you play a bunch of games one day, that's a grind. I'm not like this.
Looking forward to, we have a game twice a week. We don't have to wait a week. You kind of know what your weekly schedule is.
Saturday,
something
Tuesday,
to look forward to.
But that becomes a grind, man, in February for these guys, and that's the fun part, right? Can you survive the grind? First game, Saturday. It's going to be Arkansas and Tennessee in the SEC. Walk-On's post-game show 30 minutes after the game is over. Tip-off is at 2. We'll be right back on Out of Bounds.
Arkansas Municipal Equipment presents Coach Nolan Richardson when he joins Drive Time Sports every week with Rollin' with Nolan. Arkansas Municipal Equipment in Bowen. Find them online at ametrucks.com.
This is Sports Center.
It was a trio of bowl results on Tuesday. Louisiana Tech rallies from behind to beat Coastal Carolina 23-14 in the Independence Bowl. Then Brett Bielema and Illinois get win number 9 of the year. It was a walk-off 30-28 victory over Tennessee. The Vols finish 8-5, but don't beat a single team with a winning record in 2025. And then to end the day, it was a thriller as Sonny Dykes and TCU take down number 16 USC 30-27 with a walk-off touchdown in overtime. The Trojans finished with a 9-win season. The second 12-team college football playoff kicks off tonight as Miami meets Ohio State at 6:30. You can catch the game on ESPN. You can also catch it right here on 103.7 The Buzz. I'm Josh Neighbors for The Buzz Radio Network.
This is Trey Schapp. Tune in each Friday morning at 5:30 right here on The Buzz as I bring you From the Shortgrass, presented by UAMS Health, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine. If you like to hear interesting stories about the game of golf, this is for you. You can also find it wherever you get your podcasts.
Holiday savings just landed at Gwatney Chevrolet, and these deals are big. Get up to 22% off in-stock 2025 Silverado 1500s. Huge savings on the truck everyone wants. Buy a new Equinox and get a $250 Christmas gift card, a perfect holiday bonus while supplies last. And on all pre-owned vehicles, get 1 full year of free maintenance, plus available sales tax paid for even more savings. Don't wait. Drive home your holiday deal today at Gwatney Chevrolet in Jacksonville. Chevrolet, together let's drive. With approved credit. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota compact tractors. The Kubota L-Series is the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. They're designed for easy operation and feature performance meshed attachments. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment with 0% financing available or save up to $3,500. Now through December 31st, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit your local River Valley Tractor dealer or online at rivervalleytractor.com.
Hey, it's David Braswell for Luxury Pool and Spa. Can you feel it in the air? Oh, I can. It's hot tub season, and I love my hot tub from Luxury Pool and Spa. You can too. They have Fantasy and Caldera hot tubs in stock and ready for delivery. Luxury Pool and Spa also carries Serona Spa chemicals and frog systems. I use both in my hot tub. You gotta have them. Luxury Pool and Spa also has Pollywood Adirondack outdoor furniture for sitting around your fire pit with family and friends. Live the life of luxury with Luxury Pool and Spa in Conway and Russellville. LuxuryPoolArkansas.com.
Stop and shop at our Conway and Little Rock showrooms. That's Hawks Homes, has been serving Central Arkansas since 1986. Is Arkansas's #1 sales dealer. Volume purchasing power enables us to offer our customers the best prices on the highest quality homes. See the world's largest double-wide and single-wide homes, triple-wide homes, and even a quad. You dream it, and we'll build it for you. We're the only manufacturer and modular dealer that can build your custom home from your plans. Check them out online at hawkshomes.net.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Hey, it's Randy Rainwater from Drive Time Sports. Join us Wednesday for the finale of 2025. Rick Schaefer and I are bringing in Neil Atkinson from Bed Saracen, Kevin Bohannon, Scoop and Score. Hogsports.com's Trey Biddy, thanks to Chris Crane Hyundai, and Genesis of Conway, Bart Reed. Our basketball guru, NFL agent and guru, Chris Turnage, and Richard Davenport from HoHogSports.com and the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. See you Wednesday on 103.7 The Buzz.
All right, 2 more segments to go here on Out of Bounds. Josh Neighbors, Jackson Braswell. We bring in my friend Paul Catalina. So, Paul, Worlds Collide here. I would do an interview on Paul's podcast every Friday normally, and then I would join my co-host today, Jackson Braswell, to call a game, Paul. So you're speaking to the other half of the dynamic duo of high school football in Arkansas.
What's up, Paul?
Well, I'm very happy to be doing that, Josh. I'm a huge fan of yours, and anyone that's in your orbit, I am a friend of.
Yeah,
because I'm a big Josh Neighbors guy.
Well, Jackson's awesome, and his dad was a broadcaster too, so I had to go call a UCA game, and he and his dad got to call one of the final games of the year together, which was cool. The father-son combination got to get together. So
some say it was the best broadcast of the year.
Many are saying. All right, so Paul, which game are you most excited for out of the college football playoff games?
Out of the CFP games, honestly, it is Miami and Ohio State because I have the least amount of read on how that game is going to go because of Mario Cristobal. Because Mario Cristobal coaches games that are kind of all or nothing in one way or the other. And, you know, I know that Ohio State's really, really good, but I know that Miami's going to be kind of loaded for bear because they got a lot more to prove maybe than Ohio State. So I think that means something. And then when it comes to some of the other ones, I kind of think I know how they're going to go. So maybe I'm not quite as excited about those.
How old were you in 2003?
How old was I? I was 23 years old.
Okay, so yeah, this was like prime Paul. You had to watch. Now that was a game where didn't Miami get hosed in that game? I know you're a FSU guy, but
they got very hosed by the officials in that game. A tremendous amount of hose went on at the end. They called a very bogus pass interference penalty at the end, and Ohio State was able to win. And it made me so mad because, especially in 2003, I was just out of FSU. So I don't have warm feelings towards Miami in general. But if you make me walk around for 2 weeks and talking about this game with people and advocating for Miami winning a game, I'm not going to be happy about it. So that whole officiating crew made me mad because I had to take their side on something.
Well, we have Walt Coleman, who Hall of Fame officially comes on our morning show, and he has this year actually been very anti-official. So it's nice to see the officials are starting to turn on themselves a little bit. Yeah. So the Georgia Ole Miss game feels like the not very talked about game. I feel like Pete Golding's already kind of done his job. He won the game. He's really made a big point of letting everybody know that he's not Lane Kiffin. And so, like, as distasteful as everybody finds Lane Kiffin, do you think there's anything to the idea that, like, hey, Pete Golding should be a little bit grateful? Like Lane Kiffin did bring him in and let him be a part of this very much elevated program. I feel like the Lane Kiffin shade is been out of control, and we're not stepping back and realizing that he is the one that motivated all these people to give money. He built the roster. He identified Trinidad Chambliss as a guy that could help them, and he built competitive, important depth. You knew what you were getting with Lane Kiffin, and so I don't need Pete Golding being like, I don't do yoga. Like, okay, man. Like, I like to curse, but man, an F-bomb like every 2 words at the press conference, like the FCC is going to get him at his coach's show, Paul. I mean, I think he's a little too aggro for me, a little too Nick Sirianni for me.
He is a little bit that way. That's for sure. And I do think that he does maybe owe a little bit more to Lane Kiffin than he's letting on, but I do understand the way that Lane Kiffin went out the door. Pete Golding's not to do himself any favors by at least publicly, about attaching himself to that at this point, because all of Oxford, Mississippi, thinks it's the worst thing that's ever happened in that town, maybe ever in the history of the state of Mississippi, and they're ignoring a lot of bad things that happened in Mississippi. So they think it's bad. So I think it's maybe more political than anything, which is college football in the nature. And Pete Golding probably feels maybe a little betrayed as well, because he wasn't one of the ones that Lane wanted to bring with him anyway.
Well, guess what? He got a head coaching job out of it, though. He got a head coaching job out of it. Like he shouldn't be. Come on, it's business, brother. Like, not you, Paul, but to him, I'd say it's business.
Yeah, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn it, Paul! What the hell, man? So, Paul, the Indiana game, like just looking at our friends at Bet Saracen, seeing them having Indiana as a 7-point favorite against Alabama in the Rose Bowl. Tell you what, that Bama team is a lot of fun to watch. Like they watch themselves work themselves out of problems. I think it's more fun that way, honestly. But they are incredibly flawed. They cannot run the ball. Their defense can give it up a little bit sometimes. But I think Ty Simpson, I enjoy watching him play. I'm not speaking to maybe his overall quality. I think Mendoza's better, more polished. I liked Indiana in this game, but Alabama's going to make it fun. I feel that pretty strongly. They're going to make it fun. But I think if Indiana plays their best game, they're going to beat Alabama. And I'm not sure Alabama has the horses to make them play not their best game.
I think you probably need to run the ball a little bit to beat Indiana. I think you need to do that. I think you can rely, because they're so good on defense that people don't talk about, that if you're in third and long against them, you're kind of playing it in their hands. So this is not a defense that you can kind of mess with and not run the ball. So that's why I think Indiana's going to win the game. But Alabama, and I think this is probably what's been frustrating their fans the most in their 3 losses and in their close wins, is that you can see that they're right there. They have all these stud players. They've got Caden Proctor, but somehow they're not good at running the ball. All these different things, they're right there. And Alabama is used to a certain level. They don't want to be right there. They want to be well past there. And so they're right there, and I think they're going to do that during this game. But I think you're going to see the Alabama that, we've seen all year that's going to look good in times. Ty Simpson's going to make a couple big throws. Ryan Williams is going to make a big play. But when they need, a 3rd and 3, they're not going to get it. And they're going to be behind the change against one of the best defenses in the country and one of the best coaches in the country, who I think really feasts on the opportunity to take down a name like Bama. Like, this really means something to him, much more than maybe anybody else in this exact moment, because Kurt Cignetti's been doing this a long time, and he's in his 60s. He's in his place that he's going to be for the rest of his career, and he is going to put trophies on the wall as much as he can.
Final one, Texas Tech. It's so weird to see a Texas Tech team that is powered by their defense, and their offense slowly matriculates and builds leads, and they constrict. It's just the opposite of what we're used to. But that's probably the closest matchup. I think spread wise it is, but also I think it's the closest between the two teams. Be interested to see how Texas Tech can if they can run the football effectively, because Oregon's been bad against that. But this is Tech's moment. I think it's a huge game for Oregon, though. I really think that, not that a ton of pressure will be on Dan Lanning, but I don't think it'd be good in back-to-back years to get smoked by Ohio State and then, next year go back, same place, same type of situation, and then get, worked over by – because last week wasn't impressive. Get worked over by Texas Tech. I think it's going to be a tight game, but this is the type of game that Oregon, their players, if their level of talent executes, they should be able to win a close one.
I almost agree with you there. I think Tech is maybe a little bit of a team of destiny right now, and I think that their defense is so good, and Oregon is so banged up when it comes to their offensive skill players across the board that I think Tech will be able to take advantage of it. I think you'll be able to muddy the game up a little bit more than Oregon wants. And I think you're going to see a game that maybe goes not maybe as definitive a stamp that Indiana put on Oregon, but I think you'll see a very similar game because Tech's defense is so good.
Paul, what are you doing for New Year's Eve?
Nothing. I'm watching football and movies, and hopefully the last Stranger Things if I
Let's go, Paul.
have 2 hours.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen, Paul? What's going to happen in Stranger Things?
Don't spoil it.
No, we don't. I can't spoil it.
I think that you're not going to see a lot of sad things happen. I think it's going to be a very triumphant ending with maybe one minor death.
I have heard there's potentially, I mean, this is a rumor, that it's all going to turn
Many
out
are saying
it's going to all turn out to be just like a Dungeons and Dragons game that they were playing in their basement, that it was like all a game the entire time. I hope that's not the case.
It's American Psycho, you're saying.
Now, I think the Duffer Brothers are way better than that.
Me too.
Let's hope so.
I think they're better than that.
Paul, appreciate you giving us some time on New Year's Eve. Enjoy it, man.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Paul Catalina, I want to thank you for joining. I want to thank all of you all. We'll check the D3 Auto Sales text line one more time. We'll hand it over to Drive Time Sports. When we come back, it's Out of Bounds.
It's the wrap-up the year sales event at the Big Lot. Chris Crane, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Benton. Get new Jeep Wranglers up to $14,000 off. And the midsize truck of the year, the new Jeep Gladiator, starting at just $39,900. These are the biggest deals of the year on Jeeps. Don't miss the wrap-up the year sales event at the Big Lot. Chris Crane, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Benton, or chriscranecars.com.
The Big Lot Benton.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did. Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See shelter agent Angie Collins in Heber Springs, Michelle Herring in Whitehall, or Jonathan Stone in Lone Oak today.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RUN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RUN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RUN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
A happy place comes in many colors. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
This is Thomas Blackman with Blackman Auctions. Since 1938, we've handled many different types of auctions. We sold bulldozers, excavators, farm tractors, farms, locomotives, fully custom rail cars, vehicles, Harley-Davidsons, cows, lake houses, hunting properties, pickups, heavy trucks, big trailers, plus hundreds of other random things. Honestly, if it's for sale, we probably sold it. Our knowledge and experience is priceless, much like your hard-earned assets. Since 1938, better auctions have always been Blackman Auctions.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
It's your Razor Hog update each day on Out of Bounds, brought to you by Flight by Yingling. Crisp, refreshing, and just 95 calories. Pick some up for your next tailgate or watch party. Flight by Yingling, brewed for fans who never settle. Yingling.com.
All right, a couple more minutes here on Out of Bounds. Josh Neighbors, Jackson Braswell. Glad to have you with us today on this New Year's Eve. I want to thank the folks at Bet Saracen. Go check them out, guys. I mean, this will be a big couple days of athletics. College basketball, college football. They got everything you need there. Spreads, team totals, props, all that stuff over at Bet Saracen. Download the app today. Also, D3 Auto Sales text line. We'll read some of these. He said, Josh thoroughly enjoyed the show. And Coach Z yesterday. Yeah, Coach Z's the man. He's awesome. We love that. Alex says if we had hit the free throws, we would have won the game against Houston. Yeah, I mean that's always a thing. It's like it's part of it though. It's hard to make free throws in a game. It's really physical. You know, you get kind of getting beat up. You got to slow down, make the free throws. I'm not saying you can't make them, but like that's that's one of those things where you really got to focus up and lock in to do that. Let's see. Also, the Arkansas basketball postgame show, live from Walk-Ons, brought to you by Bet Saracen, begins on Saturday. So the game is at 2. Every single game this year, Westmore and I will be breaking it down afterwards. Live from Walk-Ons. We're going to be outside so we can put the speakers up. So go out there and join us. Once again, every single game, 30 minutes after the game is over is usually when we start. We have to wait for the Learfield postgame show to be done. But please come on and join us. It'll be on YouTube, X, and Facebook as well as 103.7 The Buzz. A couple folks saying, nice job today. Well, thank you. That's Jackson and I had a lot of fun this year. And Jackson, thanks for coming on, man. It's been a great year. And glad to add you to the Buzz family. You know, it's you've come in here a couple times and, instrumental, obviously, in all of our coverage this year. And I had a blast calling games. You know, I did not want to keep doing sidelines just because, some other stuff I could have been doing broadcast-wise, I think would have been valuable. And then, RJ decided to move on, and Kyle got another job, so it opened up. And I'm glad that, I took it in Acree, made a great choice in finding you as a partner. Good time, a lot of fun. We kept it. We keep it light, We call the game, we give it what it needs to do, we keep it light, but we enjoyed it. I mean, I had a great time this year. We made a lot of trips, but we had a great time.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun, and it kind of showed us just how, good high school football is around the state, seeing different levels and different styles of play.
Good players everywhere too,
Yeah, there is. Everybody seemed to have a guy that was fun to watch. And
here's a guy.
We had a ton of fun. We like to joke a little off air.
Yeah, a joke on the air too.
Get some inside jokes, mix those in during the game. But
Coach Withrow was fun too. He's awesome.
Ton of fun.
Yeah, y'all had a great bond. You guys love to run the rock. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining us, man. And last time on the Buzz in 2025 for me, just want to appreciate everybody. It's been an awesome year. And thanks to everybody who listens out there. When you listen, however you listen, making us a part of your day, it means a lot to us. Like, it's never lost on us that you all invite us into your cars, into your homes, whatever you guys do. If you're going to work, if you're taking your hanging out with your kids. So we really appreciate that. That's why we do it. Like, at least for me, I don't need thousands of people to listen to me. That's not really what it's about. It's about the fact that people are invested, and part of their Arkansas sports experience is listening to us call a game, or is listening to the morning show or this show right here. So we appreciate y'all listening. It means a lot to us. And everybody stay safe this new year. All right. Drive Time's up next.
Holiday savings just landed